Let me ask you a question. Why the big secret? Truth seekers, but really the true leaders. It's time to get the facts from the big secret keepers. UFOs passing by when I look up in the sky. We're out here asking why, but we don't get no reply. We want disclosure, we need the actual facts. They're covering all the tracks, but we're not backing down. It's our time, stay on the grind. Why the big secret's about to blow your mind?
All right, everyone, this is Roderick Martin, and it is Friday, Freaky Friday, and we're on the Onyx Radio, and that is the network where everything is unexplained and so much more. But we're live streaming today from YouTube as well, and also into the Clubhouse app, so you can join us from any way you want to consume today. I'm Roderick Martin, and this is Why the Big Secret. And we're going to cover some great stories for you today. And I'm really excited about some of the headlines that we're going to cover. But in the meantime, it is Friday and I'm here with you. And you could have been any other place today, but you chose to be right here, right now. And with that being said, I'm going to serve you. And how I'm going to do that? I'm going to be the boldest, baffling, belligerent YouTube channel in the world, creating captivating conversations that will certainly cause controversy. So join me tonight as we uncover these UFOs, aliens, and government secrets, and a little bit more we're going to be doing. And so that's how I'm excited, and that's how we're going to get down. All right, so you might not know that, yes, I have a couple of TV shows out on the Discovery Plus channel. You want to check it out. It's the Alien Endgame. I'm also in the Black Knight Satellite, which is Beyond the Signal with Billy Carson. You want to definitely check that out as well. Next week, I'll be in the Roswell, New Mexico 75th anniversary show on Fox 2B. And then, of course, you know, I'm Gaia and a couple other things going on. But let's not worry about that today. We're going to talk about this right now. You know what we want to do. So hit the like button on this video, share it so we can get down to what we're going to be doing. And I am ready to talk to you. So, all right, so I hope you've been having a pretty good week this week, and I know I have. It's been a long week, and, you know, it's one of these things that we want to talk about when it gets down to these UFOs. So, first of all, I'm in the jumbo state, and this is where the UFOs come out to play. And I know you might be wondering, so I just want to know it's a Texas thing, y'all. So that's where I am. But again, I bid you good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are watching this show and any other places that YouTube airs this. Now we're going to get into what's in the news, and that's why I like to begin everything. It's kind of started. So first, I'll say hello to those of you that's in the chat that's already watching us. UKL, you there, and who else is there? If you haven't said hello yet and you want me to give you a shout out, now is the time for you to go ahead and do that. Post those comments and everything else so I know. Invisible Tracker, what's up, man? He said, love to jam. Well, it's for you. And that's who we're going to do this for. You're in Clubhouse. I will pin a link up in just a minute so that you could come into the YouTube side if you like, and it'll be on the pinned links. I have shut off the comments in Clubhouse because I can't monitor those here at the same time. And sometimes they get out of whack. And they may be some extraterrestrials in there talking because they may not like what I say. And so sometimes that get going from there. All right, so I'm not going to waste too much of the time, but get right into in the news, because tonight we're going to talk about in the main story, Roswell, New Mexico. What is happening with that? What's happening in the past and what's going on today with it, because we know we're up on this 75-year anniversary. But for me, it's all about why the big secret, and we'll get to that later on in the show as our main topic. But I want you, if you're watching this right now live, to participate, because we're going to have a conversation where we all are going to dive deep into the Roswell incident, and at the same time, let's conversate about it. Tell me what you know and what you think you know, or what I should be knowing, and I'll tell you some things that I think I know, because I think right now all of us should be aware of something happened there, and then there's something that they said it didn't happen. So what really happened? Well, that's going to be our main story tonight, and that's something that we're going to cover. All right. So again, I'm happy that those of you who are here, don't forget, please. We got enough people right now where we should have the likes in this video kind of past 10 right now. Let's do it. I know a lot of people will be in a little later, but at the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and put this link, and then we'll get started in Clubhouse, where if you decide that you want to come over here and watch this show from here. Now, I just want to warn you, I am kind of what I call a hybrid. And what that simply means, I got a face for TV and face for radio. You'll figure out what's par for which on your own with your own discovery. But at the end of the day, it's not a bad sight. Not a bad sight. You can come over here and not really be disappointed in what you see. So I'm going to. All right. So we're ready to go. Justin says, just got here, Roderick, but I'm bringing two with me. That's what I'm talking about, man. Share this channel. That compliment that the guy said last night, that it should be thousands of people listening. I was like, man, that was really powerful. But then I forgot. I really always ask you guys to truly hit the like button on these videos, but I should be saying share as well. So let's make this a sharing Friday. Sharing is caring. And so we'll do that. Let's get into the headlines, though, because I want to talk about this Roswell thing. I really want to get to it as quickly as I can, because I want to talk about it for the rest of the evening. But without that, we're still going to do some of the things that we do from here. So one of the first parts of it, as we will get into our days, which will be definitely, I don't know. Let's just go with this.
Now, today's UFO and government disclosure updates. Let's go beyond the narrative on Why the Big Secret with Roderick Martin.
All right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to always go beyond this narrative, because I think one of the things that we tend to happen these days is that we go with what the press and what we hear, but then we got to start thinking why, right? My philosophy, your eyes are useless when your mind is blind, and it's time to think why. And the reason I set that up within our context of our community, the truth seekers, is because I believe that if your mind is not ready to determine or open itself up, because the mind is like a parachute where it's best when it's open, right? And so if you're not ready to really understand, or just even have the possibility that a lot of these things is possible, then you just may be standing right in front of an ET. And because your mind is closed to the concept that we're not alone in this universe, you're going to say, that's not what that is. And you're going to walk off. And again, your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. And that's why here you're going to get enough information, a daily dose of what's in the news. We're going to talk about those conversations. So, all right. So the first part here, Jim Walker is here, been listening on Spotify for this term, first time watching you live. You know what? I'm glad you've been listening on Spotify. We have actually in 59 different countries. I got the report the other day, and I was like, yeah. And don't let me forget, you guys, I'm going to always thank the Truth Seeker members in the promo. I'll do that down at the bottom of the hour as well. But thank you, Jim Walker, for finding your way over here and not letting me be a UFO on YouTube. Unidentified. I'm not going to say that other word, because someone told me stop calling myself fat. Unidentified. I'm not. I'm fluffy, and that's what it is. Okay, so there is a motorist that filmed a eyeball UFO. Okay, now this came down from Iowa, and then it left this guy mystified when he glanced out his window and spotted a glowing orb hovering in the night sky. And then this strange sighting occurred this past Tuesday, so it's a couple of days ago, but we still in the thing of news. And it was witnessed by this gentleman named Jacob Farrell, and he was driving through the city of Des Moines. So if any of you live in Iowa and you've heard about this, you might want to go check it out. And he said it was like seeing an eyeball looking UFO. I thought that was pretty weird for him to explain it like that. A eyeball UFO. I'm like, really? Okay, that's challenging. But what I did do, because I thought it was a unique situation, I did, kind of say, okay, let's see what this guy's talking about. So let me show you his video. Check it out.
A driver in Des Moines claims that he saw a UFO. What's that? The National UFO Reporting Center is looking into it. No, what is that though? You can see it in this video, what Jacob Farrell calls a UFO. He says it was last night on Hickman Road near Merle Hay Road looking north.
Now, any of these things starting to be familiar when we are looking at this, and it makes me wonder. I don't know if y'all remember when I had a conversation the other day, if you've been following all week, I gave you guys a scenario because somebody asked about these UFOs and what do we see and how it goes down. And I'm thinking, a lot of these are starting to look alike, but then since they move so quickly from here to there to this and that, could it be the same ones that people are seeing out there? But if you live in Des Moines, then you saw that night, definitely hit me on contact@whythebigsecret.com. But right now we are on the UNX, baby, which is the UNX network. You definitely want to check that out at unxnetwork.com. And you're going to find a lot of shows there that is all unexplained UFOs related, and so if you want to get your heavy dose 24/7, 12, 365 plus OT, check that network out. But in the meantime, I'm here throughout the week and I'm here on Friday. All right, so I'm gonna get to our next story, which I kind of alluded to this probably, I don't know, maybe a week ago, and it really kind of bothered me enough. So, and I'm going to show you an image here first. Let's go back to the image. World UFO Day, July 2nd. So that's supposed to be tomorrow. Okay, World UFO Day. Now, what I'm concerned about is, and I think I shared this with y'all as I get ready to get into this story, is that it was first Brazilian. Came out and said we're going to do a World UFO Day. I don't know if y'all remember that, or if you've seen the articles out there. If you have, let me know in the chat, so I'm not here by myself. But one of the things that caught my attention was that this is in Brazil, and when they decided that they want to commemorate Kenneth Arnold, who is an American story, okay, I'm not trying to be selfish here. I'm not trying to say it's all ours, but I am a little bit like, damn, they using our story for a World UFO Day in Brazil. Now, we all know from being MUFON, I'm a UFO investigator, let you know, for the MUFON network, and Brazil is a hot spot when it comes down to these UFO phenomena. And so I'm not shocked. But for them to title themselves first as the World UFO Day, and now we have some conflict in another day, I thought that was kind of weird. And I'm wondering, and I'm sure you could be wondering, why we didn't do that first. How come the United States of America couldn't turn around and say, we're going to do an official World UFO Day? Now, I know. Last couple of weeks, we were in the congressional hearings, and hell, they didn't even want to say that UFOs are real. So I get it. So, but let's get down to this here. So the World UFO Day, and they saying Earthlings may not be alone. So tell us something new, right? But okay, we're going to give them credit though, because they are saying it and nobody else is saying it. But they saying it's meant to create awareness for people on the planet Earth to gather together and watch the skies from unidentified flying objects. Sound like a CE5 day, like, Greer's already been doing this, right, for a long time. And so I just thought, wow. But then it also said they stated the goal on July the 2nd celebrations to raise awareness to the undoubted existence of UFOs and to encourage governments with an S, that mean more than just theirs, to declassify their files in UFO sightings. Yes, y'all hit the like button. Please hit that like button. And then they're talking about these other countries. But here's where it conflicts. If you remember, June 24th was supposed to have been the World UFO Day, and it was celebrated back then. And this was that Kenneth Arnold was supposed to have been that wrote generally considered to be the first widely reported UFO. And now why July the 2nd is related to 1947 UFO crash in Roswell, which is why we're going to talk about that tonight, by the way. And so all of this is just kind of one of these things. And I think am I alone? Shouldn't we hear, if you are in the United States? I know, like I said, we're broadcasting everywhere today. 59 countries on the podcast, wherever the stream is, in all these places when it goes to the Onyx network. And then of course YouTube is worldwide. So, but again, why didn't the United States capitalize on this? And then we make it a national holiday. We already paying UFO taxes. Remember, I told y'all we got to put that out there. UFO taxes is a hashtag and a movement, because if you pay taxes, you're in on the UFO thing. You're paying for it. So we should have a World UFO Day, and it should be a holiday, paid holiday to be exact. Why not? We paying for that. We're paying for the UFO stuff. I think I'm gonna run for politician. I'm gonna be a politician just for that day, just to be the one. And I'm gonna run on the sole principle that UFO Day, World Day, should be a holiday, and we do it. Y'all think I may win something? I don't know. I'm sure. All right. So the last story before we start getting into our main stuff today, we're going to be getting into the third headline, and then we're going to open it up. Actor Dave Foley shares his UFO experience on Twitter. Matter of fact, I've talked with Dave many occasions. He was actually, look, UK said, okay, he will vote too. All right, so I got my first vote, and I'm missing a few likes. Oh, there we go. We got a new like there. Like the channel. Appreciate you. So Dave Foley, who I've talked to on several occasions on Clubhouse, he's been on my show. He's been one of the guests. He's actually been on the stage with me in some of the panels. Now he's sharing one of his experience on a UFO on Twitter. And so here's what it kind of looked. He kind of did a illustration of what it looked like. And if you don't know who Dave Foley is, look him up, because he's a well-known comedian, great guy, done a few shows out there. And so if you definitely don't know about him, you should check him out. And so, and like I said, it's kind of weird when you look at that image, but it's happening out there. The UFOs thing is happening. And so that's one of the things. All right. So as y'all know, Nicole, welcome, Nicole. Welcome. Again, if you're in Clubhouse, I have posted the link. You can come over here inside of the Onyx Network channel, which is streaming to Why the Big Secret in their channel, and join us on YouTube and get involved into the conversations. But again, if you're driving over there, then keep it safe, baby, because I don't want you watching. I just may wink my eye and it may startle you and you'll be like, whoa. Yep, that's my snap for today for me. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Y'all know that there's times in this show that I like to kind of change it up a little bit. And so I need everybody who's in this space. We're going to get into our Would You Rather section real quick. We do this within a minute. And I just kind of started out a little bit so you can kind of hear from there.
Looking at the stories of yesterday to better understand.
Whoa, that's old news. We're not getting into old news until yet. That lets you know that I'm programming this by myself. I'm going to get me a program director. That's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna give him a corner, and then he'll know. He'll say, "I got that for you, bro," and he'll push that. What do y'all think? All right. So Nick says, "I met Dave through Roderick's Clubhouse." Yep, there's Nick, and he's so nice. He talked about UFOs privately a few times, and after that, I'm gonna get Dave. Actually, I have his number in my phone. I haven't talked to him in a while, so I'm gonna actually get him to come up on the show. Yeah. And we'll do that. Nick, I appreciate you for being here tonight. Nick is a former intelligence officer, and he's always been our backbone for our Why the Big Secret community when it comes down to deep diving into information and vetting and all that. And he's one of the best. And also, I think him as a friend as well. So that was one of those things. Somebody said, Nick said, I'll be your program director. We are getting somewhere. All right now. You know what? Hey, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Yeah, we can do that. And so let me push the right button. And there we go.
Exercises for your brain. This is Would You Rather.
There you go. All right. So here we go. The question today is, would you rather? And definitely I want you guys to participate with this. Would you rather have eyebrows that simply never stop growing, or eyelashes that simply never stop growing? Now, I think I know the answer the women is going to go to, but I don't know. So which one? Y'all hit this thing up right quick. We're going to do that, an impossible question, and we getting down into Roswell. So let's get to it right now. But anyway, I'm looking for some answers right now. Would you rather have eyebrows or simply never stop? Well, eyebrows that never stop growing or eyelashes that simply never stop growing? I guess you can cut them both though, right? But what if you forget? Ikeo said eyebrows, lashes to get into the eyes, bro. All right. Nick said eyebrows because I couldn't trim them so quickly. Nicole said lashes because I've already have some bushy brows. I got you. All right. Tracker said coming down, everybody needs some help packing those walls just to connect to the dots. Y'all funny, man. Y'all are funny. And like I said, I agree. I think either because you can shave either which one, but when you see these women today, when they turn out, this is a true story. I was at Walmart with my mom this morning because it's the first of the month, so I take her to go get her groceries. When her Social Security and stuff comes, and there was a lady that walked, and this is really what inspired this today. The lady walked up, and I'm looking at her, and I can see there's something, some spiders on her eyes. That's how I did it. But when she turned to the side, I promise you, them things was like this. Let me just kind of give y'all, some descriptions here. It was like this on the side of her face, and I'm talking. That's how I seen her eyelashes, and I was like, God darn! And they had to be like 5, 3, 4, at least 4 inches long. Okay, I'm not joking. It was crazy. But when you saw him, I saw something when it walked toward me. But when she turned, you could have sat something on top of them bad boys. I just thought that was a little too much. So maybe I'm thinking of this by myself. All right. So here we go. We're going to get into the impossible questions. And all of this is designed to open up our minds to talk about these UFOs and everything else. And if you can get that, y'all know I get, Nick, who was it? Marie last night. She had a lifeline for the impossible questions. And give you a heads up. I'm going to say this to you all right here live on the radio. So let me pull up my email real quickly. And then we're going to get into the impossible question, and then we're going to jump into our topic tonight. But I think I'd rather share this with you right now, live in color. All right, keep going. All right, so here is the email that I got from my agent today. And I was telling him that I wanted to start reaching out to some people and get them on our shows. And I think we talked about that the other night, and I asked for y'all opinion. So I have a list of people that we have reached out. I just got to schedule these people. I got Travis Walton, Mike Rogers, Dana Walton, all of them together in their little story. Andrew Gould, if that's his name, he's based in London. Richard Dolan, and check this out. And I'm going to talk to Tracy, which is Richard's wife. Okay. Of course, Nick Pope, he already said it. And so he's on here. Steve, we're going to get him. Timothy Alberino, you got to check this person out. This dude is the bomb. Calvin Parker. And there's just Darcy, which Darcy is going to be next week. He's a producer. Chuck, we got Chase. Man, it's just so many people that I got the email today. I had mentioned it to him about a week and a half ago to start scheduling those, and we all share the same agent, and I didn't realize how simple that would have been. And he was like, "Oh, I got you." So I'm excited. I don't know about Steve Greer. So all right, let's get to the impossible question. And I almost had him on my Clubhouse show though. So
what could it be? Is that even possible?
It's driving me crazy. It's like a mind puzzle, an awesome mind puzzle.
Let those synapses fire up. This is the impossible question.
All right, so it's impossible because it takes a level of intelligence for you to answer it. And for you to believe in a UFO, you don't really have to have high intelligence. You just got to have high comprehension of saying and high curiosity. So this is what we want to do. So take a look at the question on the screen. If you're in Clubhouse, it said, what word in the English dictionary starts with the letter P, as in Paul, and ends with the letter E, but has many letters in it? Okay. So which one of y'all want to definitely take a stab at that? And then, like I say, I'm about ready. We're into it. We're about a few minutes away from the bottom of the hour to get into our top story. So what do y'all think? Let's go. And the question is, impossible question. What and don't be Googling it. And you know what? You can Google it. You're not going to find this one anyway because it's impossible. It's an impossible. Porcupine. Okay. Damn. I didn't think of that one. How many letters is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shit. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm unsupposed to use those words today. Yeah, we're not doing that. All right. But here's the deal. That is a probably poll, but Ula, we want a longer word though. It's supposed to be many letters in it, but that porcupine got me, going here. All right. So I didn't think about that one though. But anyway, all right. What word in the English dictionary starts with the letter P, ends with E, has many letters in it? Provolone. Boy, you got me wanting some of that cheese. Is that cheese, right, Nicole? Provolone is cheese? Yeah. All right. So, okay, I think y'all got me on this one because I'm thinking I'm putting something together. And the whole key part was have many letters in it. And I forgot about the intelligence of this community, right? We're truth seekers and we don't like what the big secret keeper says. And now all of a sudden, I mean, all right. Perceive-a-pie piece. What is that? Is that a word? Y'all see that? Yuko wrote something, said precede a piece. I can't even pomegranate. Y'all quit. Make it stop. Because I thought I was gonna put a long word. So my answer was post office. Okay, yeah, that's it. My answer was gonna be post office. Y'all let's sit here and just really blow this thing out the water. Pomegranate, provolone, cheese, photosynthesis. Oh, I didn't write that. I did because I think I got a producer. Pineapple. Keep it coming. Y'all doing it. All right. So it's not that impossible. All right. So let me thank the truth seekers. And then we're going to get into press the P, just how it sounds. Okay. That's 2 words. Okay. It's 2 words. So he didn't have it together then. Right. All right. So I'm saved by the greatness of Nicole. I'm saved. I'm really saved. All right. So, we're going to get into I'm going to thank everybody, our truth seekers, real quick. And then we're going to get into our old news. And then that'll lead us into our main story, Roswell, New Mexico. So I hope y'all ready for that. So, because we're going to really get down into it. But in the meantime, let me find the spot to where I want to thank everyone for supporting the channel. So let me do that right now. Most definitely. All right, so real quickly, this is screen is up on the screen here, and this is thanking all the Truth Seeker members. And if you want to be part of this, it's buymeacoffee.com/big secret. But these are all the people who support the show at the $5 membership. They are on our email list, getting those emails. And when I tell you they get those emails of the daily UFO reportings, and so I just want to thank you. 16 cents a day. A lot of y'all got that change laying around just like that. All right, if you are a business and you want to support us, we have a podcast ad spots. You got the YouTube live streams. You got the website ad spots that's going up. Internet radio, yeah. You can do some ads on the UNX radio with us, brand sponsorships, and then personally seeking those weight loss. I like to announce that I've gotten 3 people who says, Roderick, we want to work with you on the weight loss. Yeah, I know. I'm excited. It's going to be some products and stuff that I'm going to do besides that. And I'm going to do this in front of you because I know much love that I have in this community. And I did bring about this scale that's going to be accountability. And you guys going to see it. Pound on, pound off. Pound on, pound off. That's what's going to be happening. So, all right. So with that being said, thanks to each and every one of you that support this channel. And if you want to be part of that, I definitely love for you to do that. All right. That was a fun question. Yeah, I know. Post office is 2 words. I know. But it was still a long word, though, Nicole. I just thought it was a long word, post office. And maybe I should have put something in like that, maybe 2 words. But y'all killed it. Y'all, and it's still coming in. Paradise. It's still coming in. Pinnacle. Y'all won't stop. I feel, you know what? Here's the deal. since y'all are all this highly intelligent beings, as most people would say, and you're part of this community, and I want to thank you. When we get into this Roswell, because my whole intention with the Roswell today is to get you all to tell me what you know, and then I'll tell you what I know. You'll tell me what you think, and I'll tell you what I think, because I say, why the big secret? And I always say, okay, we got the narrative. Let me just stop. Let me get into the old news, and then we're going to get into that. But since y'all are in a answering mood tonight, and I got your attention, can you hear me now? Then I expect all of you who was throwing those words out there, just slapping me around real good, a couple of you, I want y'all in on the conversation, because it's going to get real tonight. So we're going to go into this particular topic, which is one of my favorite, because when I start thinking about the age group of our audience and really wanted you all to understand what is happening today, this is why this particular section is really dear to me. So,
looking at the stories of yesterday to better understand today. Old news.
And this makes a lot of sense, because when you think about old news and you think about the narrative that they have today, and some of you don't know, when you go back to some of these older stories, but then you hear the narratives of the government today, and I think the big secret keepers lie. Okay, shoot, yes, they do. They lie. And I grew up at a time you got to tell them to wash their mouth out with soap and all that kind of stuff. But that's what my grandmother used to tell us. And I never had that to happen, though. And I lied a lot. But when I was young, I just never thought about it. But anyway, so what I'm talking about is the old news of yesterday should give you some taste of what's going on from there. Big secret, what I think, publicity saves. He said Travis Taylor. Nobody, Travis T. Nobody learns, nobody. Okay. All right, we're going to get into that. Y'all hold that. Philosophize. Y'all still bringing it. Boy, that must have been a question of the day, that impossible question. Nick said, philosophize. 12 letters, beating the high score of 11. Who was number 11? Who had the biggest one? Was that the porcupine? Predictable? There's another word, predictable. Do you have a Cash App? Do I have a Cash App? Are you freaking kidding me? Shoot. And it's empty too. Let me see if I can got it up in here. What question is that? Do you have I'm going to create a banner for this thing right now. Do I have a cash? Shoot, man. I was thinking about that yesterday. How do I get that bad boy? Oh, y'all. Is it working? Oh, show. There you go. That's the Cash App right there. I do have a Cash App. Stephen Hunter. Yes. And did I win a cash prize? Oh, he's talking about from me. Do you have a Cash Up app? Oh, I got the app. I thought you were sending me something. Oh, I'm in Brokeville. I said I was in Texas, but really I'm in Brokeville. It's crowded in this town. Believe that. I have a small audience. I'm not as big as the Jimmy Churches of the world, where they have thousands of people. Yeah, I'm working on it though, one day at a time, one person at a time, and then our community will support us. Okay. All right. So, dog, please, you can. What kind of word is that? Yeah, he wins, Nick. I think he got you. So that question I put out there, the impossible question, got y'all going today, because that one, man, I'm gonna put this on the screen, dude. Let's see if we can get you on whatever that is, because boy, that is off the chart. All right, so this is the winner right there. Is that a word? Somebody fact check that too. Somebody, yes. Steven said, Roderick, do you have Cash App? Yes. Okay, he's making it Pacific now. So y'all see I'm grinning now. I'm like, yeah, I do. Scooby-Doo. All right, so he wins it. He definitely wins it. Okay, Steven, I'm gonna put my Cash App up right now and put it back up on the screen here. And there you go. In fact, I'm gonna create this one of these scroll ones, there we go. And that one there will just be like going down the thing. So we have some great things that we're going to be talking about today. It's Friday, so I want to welcome all of you who are listening from Clubhouse. This is Why the Big Secret. We're here on the UNX radio station, and that is the Unexplained Network, and that's it right there. So, boom. All right, so this is a ticker style. How about that? All right. And I'll leave that up a little bit as we talking. So it is a word. I am not going to try to pronounce that word, but it's the second most abundant, whatever the other word is, in a manual living. All right, dude. I need to send you something special. You get to win the book of the day. All right, so let's get into the show. Old news, and then we're gonna move into really talk, because I think y'all are fired up. Y'all ready to roll. So, all right, so let's bring up the article first. This is the old news. I want you to kind of see. This is back in July the 8th, 1947. Now, I want you to pay close attention to this because it's going to segue us into our story tonight. The Army reports it has a flying disc, okay? And so this is the next day. July the 8th, 1947. And so it's one of those things from there. But here's the deal. What I'm saying is this was the beginning of the cover-up itself. Okay, so once we start thinking about all of this, this is why I think it's important for you to start understanding, if you didn't know, what is really happening when it comes down to this. But now we're going to get into the story from there. But that's all right, Stephen. Y'all good. Everybody's good. That was good. Yeah, y'all good. All right, so are we ready for the main topic, which I think we should be? And so here it is right here. What really happened in the Roswell UFO incident? Okay. All right. So first of all, we're going to start with this. I'm not going to tell you what I know, but I want each and every one of you who's watching this, and also if you have not liked the video, smash that like button, hit the alerts, subscribe to the channel. Most definitely do that if you have not. And we're going to get into some great talk. So here's the deal. I want you to tell me what you know, as shortest way as you can, what you think or what you know or what you heard happened in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947 or whenever it happened, July 7th, I guess is the day. So bring it out. I want to see what everybody thinks about it, and just tell me some good stuff, what you think happened, and let's see what's going on with what people think is going on with this place out there. So I'll give you guys a few seconds. There's a delay on my end, but believe me, it's going to open us up into some conversations today that I think that it's Friday too. Let me say this too, wholeheartedly. Right now it's Friday, and it could be Friday night. And if you find value in this show tonight, and if you say, normally I would have went to the movies and spent like some money on popcorn and soda or whatever, and you want to donate to the show for the entertainment value of what's going on tonight, I'm not doing lap dances today. My knee hurt. But the whole point is, or what I call seat dances here. The whole point is you can hit that up, and just say, what, we was going to go to the movies and spend $50 on some popcorn and hot dogs. But you know what, here's a little something for you this Friday or whatever. I'm not begging though. All right. So we got the first one. Nicole says, I believe Roswell's story is real, but what do you believe though? What facts do you know from Roswell? So tell me what you know, and just kind of put a few dots there. And anyone else, tell me what y'all know about Roswell, New Mexico, and then I'm gonna tell you what some things that we should be hearing about or didn't, or we're gonna break this thing open today. We're gonna peel back some layers in our conversation tonight. So Nick, and I want all y'all who was putting those 16-foot words up that I couldn't pronounce, from the P and the E, y'all should be like spreading. This thing should be just popping right now. And don't be running off and all that good stuff. Uh-oh. I got $10 from Steve. Shout out to Stephen Hunter. You're the man. $10 on the Cash App. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Because let me tell you something. It's, every cent really, truly helps, especially in this space of what we're doing. I don't have UFO books and all that to market. And even though I want to write some based on some of my experiences and like the interviews I've done with Clubhouse. So any support does it, especially having a bigger reach to get these guests and donate to some of their charities to appeal to them to come. I still believe that, in a year from now, we'll be one of the largest communities here on YouTube and in the podcast. And I'm gonna stay here and be with you every single day that I can, which is 5 days a week. And we're gonna do that. So check your cash out. I got it, brother. I got it. So, all right. So Roswell, she said the crash. I'm gonna start with Nicole. The crash, the bodies, the cover up. Okay, the crash, the bodies, the cover up. UKL said Roswell was real. I believe was mainly used to help fund black projects to stay investigate, but used for weapons and radar and technology. Okay, that's fair enough. We'll get into that. Anyone else? I need some more people. I got to know what you think about Roswell. What do you think has happened there? What stories have you heard? And where you are with this? Because believe me, I think it is the grandfather of when the cover-ups began. It really was. Although there was a lot of other stuff happening, but I truly believe that's when it happened. And once again, if you're in Clubhouse and you want to hop in on the channel, there is a link right up above you called Pinned Links. Hit that. It'll bring you over to the YouTube channel. Only mission that we have is to hit that like button on the video for we can do that. All right. So I'm waiting on a couple more people that what do y'all think about Roswell? And don't be Googling it. If you didn't know nothing about it, put that up too. Because I don't expect everybody to know what was happening and what really happened there. And I'll begin our story. But what I did do, though, just to show y'all, I started pulling up like all of these different little headlines in the papers and stuff, right? Just and start looking at how they changed from, and we'll go over this in the story. Oh, it was a weather balloon. Oh, Army, that was our main one right there. And then the flying saucer, and these are all back in the 1940s, and that's the same one I got. Okay, so the fantasy disc explained here, and you can what we're seeing is the story started to shift very quickly from what they said they found that day, and then by the next day, it was all over the place that it was a hoax or it was a weather balloon. But what the shocking part about this is the weather balloon story must have worked. It must have worked because we still hear that crap today in a lot of instances. And so it's like they don't pull nothing out the new playbook. That didn't even happen in what was that? The Battle of Los Angeles, wasn't it? When they sent with some weather balloons or some type of whatever that we shooting at this thing with all our artillery all night long and never knocked it down, So obviously they felt somewhere and was compelled to say that story works. And I'm like, no, it cannot be. We can't have that. So since I don't have the participation, I'm going to assume that they never heard about Roswell, New Mexico. I'm assuming Nick Larkin has not heard, if he's still here, about Roswell, New Mexico, because he didn't respond. And I'm assuming, and I'm gonna start calling out if Shanelle Whitey is predictable. If you still there, Pac-Man for real, or did he? No, he made a response. Okay, that's cool. Aaron, cousin, TV, and all of y'all who have not responded, who gave me those big old words, invisible tracker, all of you apparently have not heard of Roswell, New Mexico, because I don't see y'all responses. And so, all right, we're getting somewhere now. All right, Nick responded. Pac-Man for real responded. Trader, did my response go through? No, I didn't see it. So bring it on back. T-Raider, I'm going to see what your response is. Pac-Man says, I wonder if we ever know what really happened. Okay, let y'all know I'm looking at the screen over here. Because he believed were it crash recovery ships, dead alien bodies, and maybe a couple alive. We're going to talk about that. Nick says, actually, it wasn't American Cosmics author. It was a different legit author and journalist named Annie Jacobson. What are we talking about on that, Nick? Maybe y'all was having a discussion up in there. And then T-Raider said, I guess he isn't seeing our chats. Oh, huh. Maybe I'm not. Let me go to the other side of this system here. Hang on a second. Oh, you know what? Obviously, I'm not. I'm looking at the. I'm letting y'all know. I'm looking at the computer screen that I have sitting here, my computer, and I could look at the chats in the system, and that's where I'm going to go. So T-Raider, you did say a UFO crashed and was said to be taken to a base along with the bodies and possibly live beings, and they covered it up with a weather balloon. Okay. All right. So I'm looking at the main thing now. So instead of me just focusing on the computer screen. So that's my bad. So I take it back for those of you who did reply. Pac-Man Real says, I wonder if they ever know. We said that already. Nick says, I actually was an American cosmic author. Let me go back and see what Nick said earlier, though. The author of the Cosmic is legit academic. She claims to have been given special access to the archives that revealed it was a Russian craft with people with genetic defects. Interesting. All right. So Aaron said, I responded. Maybe it didn't go through either. Boy, you know what? I'm finna look for this because y'all in on this thing. Now, Aaron, I don't see. I'm scrolling through the main feed and I don't see what you said earlier. And Cousin says, I think a UFO crash and our government killed the aliens. Okay. Well, it's possible on that. All right. So now that we got this set up, let's get into the conversation, since I see what you all have heard and everything else. And what I'm saying is, the question is, why is it a big secret of what happened in Roswell, New Mexico? And that's one of the things we really got to say. Okay, well, then I say the same thing along with the lines of crashing aliens. Aaron said that. Okay. The question is, why is it a big secret? Why is it a big secret with this Roswell, New Mexico situation? And I say because we as the community, and we think we know what the secrets are, because think about it. The narrative that they put out there is fine enough. Okay, first there was a crash. They did everything they could to tell a whole world that they crashed. Okay. But the thing is, why is it a big secret? Because here's something I want you to open your mind up to, a whole nother narrative of possibilities. It's real simple for them to say, okay, the American people think they know what they think they know. Okay, it was a crash. Okay, and it was some alien bodies. Let them run with that. We can play with that. But we don't want to tell them that and I'm making this part up, right before the alien died, he said, wah, 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 and he handed them, some type of information on free energy. He told them how it worked because that's what he come to do or whatever. I don't know. And reason I say that, because we ain't ever seen a UFO stop for gasoline. Ain't none of us seen them stop. Obviously, they're using some type of source of power, propulsion that is beyond our technology on this side of the fence. And even if they did tell us that here's the way you guys don't need gasoline anymore, would they tell somebody? And a question for you too, if you had stock in the oil and gas companies, and I'm talking major stock where your family, legacy, was sitting riding on this billion-dollar empire, and the ET showed up, crashed in Roswell back in 47 and said, hey, by the way, I'm gonna show y'all how you don't need to have gasoline for cars anymore. Would you would have told the world, or would you protect the secret just like the big secret keepers? And so and answer that question, because what I'm trying to do is paint the picture is there's the secret is bigger. It's a bigger secret than the narrative that we know, that we think we know that there was alien bodies. Okay. And they're okay with that. And I'm not saying it's not the truth. There probably is some alien bodies, and probably was. And from my research, that's what I found, that there was alien bodies in Roswell, New Mexico, in mechanical nature, with bio suits on, which some people say that they wasn't real. Okay. I've heard that rumor and everything else. So Nick says, as the theory goes, Soviet leaders were spooked by the U.S. military use of the atom bomb to bring the world bring the war to a quick close. Okay. All right. So there you go. So we're talking technology. Now, from what I was told, or not told, but I found some data that they didn't actually crash, that there was us testing some new, I forget what it was, some type of gun with, magnetic whatever thing was, and we shot them down, both. And then some people said there was 2 crashes. Some people said there was 1 crash, right? So what are y'all thoughts? Was it 2 or was it 1? And Ukamula said, also, I thought that the tensions were very high with the Korean as well. So are y'all linking? So we'll make sure I understand this. So you guys are linking the Roswell incident with the war, and that this was part of the, kind of give me some correlation for that, and I'll bring it up in the chat. Stirring up fears is similar to those that were sparked inadvertently by the fictional war of the world's radio broadcast in 1993. Oh, the War of the Worlds. Yeah, that 1938. Yeah, that was a crazy time. And if you young folks who are younger than I am, which all of y'all probably are, that War of the Worlds was a fake broadcast that happened where they started talking about there was an invasion. And at this time, they didn't have TV was out. It was radio. And people lost their freaking minds thinking that was the thing. So, but anyway, back to the whole point of Roswell, New Mexico. What's the big secret? Was there more than what we think? And are they okay with us thinking we know what we know? And so here we are saying, all right, it was a weather balloon. Okay, they changed that up, and then everybody leaked out. It was flying saucers. Here's pieces of the flying saucer. So if we go back into the history, the story began in June 24th, 1947, when pilot Kenneth Arnold was flying over Cascade Mountains of Washington State, and he was helping search for a crashed military aircraft, right? Now, he saw 9 crescent-shaped objects. Remember this story. Flying in formation at the height around 10,000 feet. So that's not that high, all right? Because I know this because when I came back from a flight about 3 weeks ago, last month, when it got about that 10,000, I was looking down because at the time I was working on a UFO case, and somebody said, it was about 10,000 foot in the sky. And I'm like, that is high for the human eyes to see something. So I'm like, no, I'm going to have to rule this out. But anyway, Arnold describes the jerky movement of those objects as they was being like a saucer would if you were skipping it over the water. He was like, ch-ch-ch-ch. So the media got hold to the story, and this is where the beginning of this thing happened, to where that the coin phrase flying saucer came in. And that's another question I'll ask all of y'all right now. Is that why don't we see any more flying saucers anymore? Do y'all know? I have an answer for that. Do y'all know why we don't get any more reports of flying saucers? Anybody want to tackle that? It's not impossible, but it is a good question. Do you want to tackle why we don't get any more flying saucers? Anyone? Ferris Bueller? Anyone? Do y'all want to tackle that particular question? Well, here's the deal. I guess I'll do that. I know there's a delay in the chat, so I'm going to wait a little bit. But the whole point, Nicole says that's why they covered it up, because it freaked out people when the War of the Worlds happened. That is definitely probably a good reason, from there. And people in the masses aren't watching the sky anymore, and maybe they just updated their tech. All right, so I'm going to go with cousin Black TV. If that's what it is, Black TV. You're correct. We don't see flying saucers anymore. Just no different than we ain't driving around in 1857 Chevrolets. So obviously their technology, and they're upgrading just as much as we are. Our cars, they're upgrading their aircraft. And so flying saucers was in then and not now. And I'll be shocked to say if we saw a flying saucer today, we just wouldn't do it. And this is why now it has elevated to orbs and Tic Tacs and all of these other items that we see today. And it's because back then, flying saucers. And that makes you really think about it, though. You think about the technology and how sophisticated it is, but the fact that they was flying saucers and now that they don't. And so that just really, it makes things in a parallel sense, right? A parallel sense when you think about this phenomena, the fact that you have these extraterrestrials able to improve their tech right in real time with us, and here we are. We just now got GPS in cars, and well, they self-automation, AI, and they got things that way past that. So that goes to show, even back then, there would have been issues with our military defending ourselves in case of anything back then, compared to what we think we know now. Now, of course, us as civilians, we don't know everything that our military possesses, and so we can't see how far along have that technology have become. But at the end of the day, we do know now we got them cloaking, moving faster than the speed of sound, all of these things. And so that is a true challenge for us when it gets down to it. Y'all having a great discussion in that thing there. He said, yeah, Nick, also they may just stay over large bodies of water. Y'all don't get me started, because it is the water. I'm going to just tell you, it's the water, man. That's where they at. They've been here in the water. They stay in the water. They live in the water. Everything is in the water. And I think that's the perfect place. If we wanted to go to an excursion, if you want to go look for some UFOs, you're going to go find them in the water. And why? Because they know we can't get there, that we cannot get to water. Okay. So that's not happening from there. So, all right. So back at this point, we had a crash. Okay. The guy, the farmer, he, claims he saw the debris on his land. He marches out there and he gets the debris, whatever his name is. I just forget that fast. He takes it down to the sheriff's office. His friend then called the military on site to let them know that they have got this material, which is light as, it's hard, but it's really light. And so all of this began. Now, I want to know what happened to all that debris. I mean, if they went out there and scoured that whole man's pasture and did that, that is something crazy there too. Honestly, Yukil says he think the water in Iran, Antarctica. Nicole says like the movie Abyss. That was a crazy movie. Only thing concerned me in that movie, am I alone when I say what I'm about to say, was that when that bomb, if I'm not mistaken, we're talking about the same movie, when the bomb was dropping down there and we went down there to save them, they thanked us. Did they really give a shit what that bomb had bothered there? Would it blew them up? Did they have force fields? Couldn't they have brought it back up here themselves? We had to go down there for that to make it look like we saving them, the world. I don't know. But anyway, y'all let me know on that. But the meantime, I'm saying is that when you come back and look at what is happening in Roswell, and as all this debris that they was picking up, of course, I'm sure they reverse engineered this stuff by now, but at the end of the day, what is happening with that? Okay. So all the debris went to Wright-Patterson Base, not Area 51. I remember the story. So I'm glad. Yeah. Keep it coming. And that's what they were saying. Check out the cartel, Phoebus cartel. Okay. What is that, Aaron? Let me know what that is. Definitely want to check that out. Let me know. But anyway, yeah. So they did fly all the debris down to Wright-Patterson Base. So they did know something exists that wasn't made from this world. But then why? And here's another big question. Out of all things that they could have literally said that this thing was, why did they pick a weather balloon? I mean, can y'all really think about it? Think about you today. Okay. You everybody today, y'all should be in y'all 30s and 40s, because I look at my analytics and 50, 40 something. Would you bought that kind of story today? Like they tried to do last week or early this week, that in San Diego, there was some flares that stood in the air for an hour. And it was military flares that was in the sky for an hour, some type of exercise. When I'm saying, Nick, you're a soldier, who would want to have a flare that can stay up an hour so that my people can find me and rescue me along with the enemy, he can say, oh yeah, he's right there. It's an hour lighting him up. Really? Okay. So, but what I'm saying is, would you have bought that story if today it happened to where it was a weather balloon story? I mean, a blimp or some crap. Would we buy that story? Because obviously they thought people was naive then to believe that. And what possesses them to do that? Where they're strong enough to say, we can post something in a newspaper that everybody say we and they said it, we recovered a flying disc, and the next day it was a weather balloon. How does that work? How do they could say what they say today, cover it up tomorrow, and then we, the people, begin the process of passing a new story? Okay, well, we know the conspiracy started at that point. All right, so Aaron says, let me read some of this real quick. Antarctica, y'all saying that. Nick said, personally, man, y'all got some good stuff. So Nick said, personally believe humanoids evolved on Earth much longer than conventional history tell us. Civilizations went underground and underwater after the last solar extension level event, the Ellie. All right. Antarctica, this is what Cousin says, could have been like an airport for several alien species from different planets. Nick says then they stayed in their mind in their own businesses for the most part until we start developing nuke tech. All right. Okay. We're going to blow some stuff up. And then Aaron says, however, the first light bulbs could have outlived a human lifespan. Really? All right. Carrie, somebody new. Carrie, welcome to the channel. Hope you subscribe to the channel. Hope y'all hit that like button. Man, listen, that like, if y'all can, help me out. So the YouTube algorithm know we here. We got twice as many people in the room as the liking this. And so hoping you find in value. Slam that like button right now. If you have not had a chance to do it, just thumbs up right now. Boom, 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 boom. And then share it. I never asked y'all to share it too. Share the channel. Sean said a weather balloon was the easiest if they could tell looking at something at a time. Okay, so he's answering the question, why use the weather balloon? And I get it. And okay, so today they probably use something totally different, and that is we don't know what it is. Diana says, am I late? No, you're not so late. Oh, you're late because I get it. On Fridays, we're streaming from the UNX network, okay, Diana, which is the live radio stream at the unxnetwork.com. The X is what it's called. And so I'm broadcasting, even though we're streaming it live, we do from 7 to 9 instead of 8 to 10 on Fridays. And that's my fault, because I should have just sent a note to your house, which I don't have your address, but I should have just let all y'all know on Friday. So we're 8 to 10 Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 on Fridays. Okay. My bad. So welcome. But if you want, I'll stop this whole show and start over for you, because you always here. You've been here. You've been supporting me. In fact, I'll start over if I have to. And I'll say, but if you tell everybody you don't want me to start over, I won't start over. She said, okay, don't start over. She saved y'all, because I was going to hit the button and be like, all right, everyone, this is Roderick Martin. We're going to start the show over, but I'm not going to do that. All right. So here's the point. He says, I agree with you. And Michael, is it Michelle Andrews? I'm still not sure about something was odd about it. Okay. Is it Michael? I'm reading that wrong. I'm sorry. So, but here's the deal. The Roswell thing. So let me get back onto the story of that to say that, they knew then when they started this thing that we were going to be right now. This is the cover up where it's going to begin. Okay. In fact, there was a Brookings report. So go back and Google the Brookings report page. I think it's 220 or 328, somewhere in there, where NASA and all of them sanctioned this Brookings Institute to say we need to do a report to see how people will react to the existence of UFOs and extraterrestrials. Well, the Brookings report simply came back and really told them, don't tell the human population. And it came back down to, if you remember the movie Men in Black, where Will Smith, which was the inspiration of this name of this channel, not the slap, but when he says, why the big secret? People are smart. And then Kay say a person is smart, but people are dumb, stupid, blah, blah, blah. So it's one of those things that they felt that, all right, some people can discover the truth. but everybody cannot know the truth. But we're going to change that now because the time has changed. I think people should know what's going on with these UFOs and everything else. And so ancient civilizations and all of those things. And we'll definitely look at it. Deborah Shelton says, I heard years ago from former nuclear lab employee who was around when Roswell crash occurred. And he said the guy who saw the alien said they look like failed cloned humans. See, Deborah, let me say something. There has been many people that have said that when they discovered those graves, the bodies, that they were mechanical. Y'all remember that? It was mechanical. And they've said that on many occasions that there were mechanicals, and that when they cut them open, that bodies, they felt like they were bio, whatever they call it, around the bodies. Now, if that's the case, and then of course there's this false narrative of the false flag or the fake alien invasion, that there's been people saying on the backside that they're manufacturing these great things like, hamburgers or something. I don't know. Oh, there we go. We have a bam. Thanks for your channel. Listen on Clubhouse. Got the super chat. See, boom, boom, boom. Super sticker and all that good stuff. Thank you, Deborah. Appreciate it. And maybe more people could. I did get a $10 earlier today on the Cash App as well. But there you go. I appreciate the super chat there, a sticker. And Deborah, thank you so much. I'll leave that up there for a second too. But here's the deal. When the Brookings report that came back and said that don't tell these humans, okay, don't tell them. But they did say in the same report, if you Google it, the Brookings report, they did say that the community that was going to be hit the hardest in this thing was the scientific community. And I didn't think about that when I read it, last year. And I was like, why? Now I know exactly why, because the way the scientists think, they are more in the, because of these UFO things are more anomalies. They happen here. Roderick, you blocked me on my other account, girl. No, I did not. Who blocked you? Well, you know what? Maybe now girl from the Bay. I'm streaming from UNX network. Okay. So this is their channel that I'm streaming from, not mine. So maybe you might have had some run-ins, and they have like a whole shows of like 20 different shows. Maybe there was a run-in somewhere, but I did not block you here. Yeah. So I'm not really for sure how that would work there, but you're not blocked. You blocked me on my other account. Was that an accident? Yeah, sure was, but I didn't. But like I said, I'm streaming. I'm not streaming through my restream. I'm streaming through UNX network. So I don't know if that makes a difference. Maybe I'll ask the program director that. But come Monday, you definitely let me know, and we're gonna VIP you. In fact, I'm gonna VIP you over there. You can chill and watch the show from. I'm gonna have like a live thing like Oprah one day. That's my dream, and y'all can sit out there and we'll do that. So you'll get the first ticket. But like I said, I didn't do it, so we'll check and see from here. And I couldn't see that now anyway. So bring the viewers, my brother. I know that catfish. Bring the view. Y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button. We can do this. How can we get more viewers? How can we collectively do this together? Do we need to share it? Do y'all know? Is there anything I could do different? Because I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here steadily. Now I do know, like sometimes, the next day or during the night, these videos get several hundreds of views. But definitely would love more to interviews every day. Okay, he says interviews. I did list a lot of people that I'm going to be interviewing, so we're going to do that. I really want to interview some experiencers as well. And thank you, laugh my ass off. Oh, see, y'all gonna make me curse here. Glad I'm still included with the secret keepers. You are still included with the secret keepers and everything else. So, all right, let me get back on the story of Roswell. So let's get into the debris, okay, that was happening here. Yeah. So when are you doing an interview with the sisters who wrote the book From the Motherland? I need to call Earlene and Shirlene. I'm going to call them tomorrow and set that up. I haven't talked to them. We went to lunch a while back, and they're here in Dallas area. So we actually went to dinner. So, I mean, lunch. And so I'll call Earlene and Shirlene and set that up within now and the next 2 weeks. So they're ready. They have a YouTube that they're trying to put out. They're working on a movie. They're doing a lot of stuff. So we can do that. And Barbara Lamb, yep. Barbara's a good friend of mine, so we can get her back on it. To get more viewers on YouTube algorithm for search engine, to get more on keywords. Okay, so when we're doing live stream, how's that keywords is going to work? So type that in there, because I guess I have to know all that in advance, right? Or change it afterwards. But, you know, if you know anything about that, contact me at contact@whythebigsecret.com. Put your contact number in there. If you're not afraid to talk, I'll call, because I want to learn this thing. So anyway, on July the 7th, the local rancher. So let me give you all the story, the backstory. Mac Brazel contacted the sheriff in Roswell to say he discovered strange debris that was spread all over his ranch. Okay. Now, accordingly, allegedly to say, he said he found it days earlier, but he hadn't thought about it much until the stories about the flying saucer emerged. And so that's one of the things that we looked at. And he said, you can pay for ads and put your channel on these ads. And I don't know how much they cost. I never thought about that. And Roderick, big fan of yours. Steve Buck, welcome to the channel. Hope you are subscribed. Hope you guys, and I just appreciate all the new people. Keep it coming, because I'm working very hard to truly not just make this a life, career, what we're doing, but also bring it to you from a whole different perspective beyond the narrative of everything else. So anyway, he brought those, and I'm talking about Brazel here, Mac Brazel. This is the guy who owned the ranch where the crash materials were spread all over his ranch. And now I heard stories there was lightning that night, and he heard the lightning. But again, I was still heard that we shot those down with some new magnetic device or wherever it was. So anyway, he brought those samples of debris and went to the sheriff, contacted the nearby Army base intelligence officer, Jesse Marcel, who went to the crash site with Brazel and recovered more debris. So this is where it all started. Now, the military base public information officer, and his name was Walter Hunt, worked with the local journalist to release a newswire report about the event. Now, I got the actual quote from that, and I thought it was kind of weird, but just look how this was orchestrated. But what I'm concerned is this. If the media is supposed to be for the people and supposed to put out information for the people, why would they get in on a big secret anyway? Because listen, they already knew that there was a flying saucer. Most of the media, and if they're investigators, they knew, but they let and so here's one of the press thing came from the military. He says, many rumors regarding flying discs became a reality yesterday. So this is where it started. So they first called a press conference, the military, and they simply told the truth. They said, and this, I quote, this is their statement from the press release. Many rumors regarding the flying disc became a reality yesterday when an intelligence officer of the 509th Bomb Group of the 8th Air Force, Roswell Army Airfield, was fortunate enough to gain possession of a disc through cooperation of one of the local ranchers and the sheriff's office of Chavez County. And he goes on to say the flying object landed on a ranch near Roswell sometime last week. Not having phone facilities, the rancher stored the disc until such time as he was able to contact the sheriff's office, in turn notify Major Jesse A. Marcel in the 509th Bomb Group intelligence officer. Now, this is the military first statement. Action was immediately taken, and the disc was picked up at the rancher's home. It was expected by the Roswell Army Airfield and subsequently loaned by Major Marcel to higher headquarters. Now, this news sent shockwaves all across the world. It really did. But it is the iconic front page of the headline, if y'all remember the Roswell Daily Record, that best said it all. It was like the Air Force captured flying saucers on a wrench. So this thing was out there everywhere. And I'm saying is, when did the cover-up change so that this is the beginning? So that's the deal. They actually took time, met with everybody, the military, put it out there that there was a flying saucer. They was excited. Oh, it was like, yeah. Somebody, somewhere, like I got this phone right here. Let me just show you. Somebody. But I'm sure the phone was red. It was red, not like this one. Somebody picked up the phone and said, what the hell are y'all thinking? You can't tell these people that these grays are here. Y'all need to change that story right now, or your stars and stripes or whatever they said on the phone, because they didn't come down there. Did they have telephones, or did they use shoes with cups with strings or something, or pigeons with stuff tied? But anyway, however they got the message, they said, you guys are nuts and y'all got to change that. And boom, the cover up began. At this point, it was a whole new ball game. So they somebody made the phone call, and then all of a sudden there was this U-turn. Okay. This is when we start seeing these kind of stories, weather balloons and all this kind of stuff. And they did this in 24 hours, 24/7, 12, 365 OT, 24 hours or so. It changed. The military within 24 hours it was like within a stunning event. They just changed it. Now people are following orders, and y'all remember the movie. You follow orders or people die. It's just that simple. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. I want the truth. So obviously they like, forget that. And David, what's going on? Hello, Roderick and the Truth Seekers. Welcome. Make sure y'all hit the like buttons if you hadn't done that. Share this, everything else. Margaret Gonzalez, welcome back. Al Minio, welcome. Okay. There we go again. You know, now we own something. Look at that. Jay say, just join the Truth Seekers. Appreciate it. There we go. Got $2. Don't get me wrong. Let me tell y'all so. I was on a YouTube chat today, and it's not for y'all, not a chat, a channel. And it was about trying to grow your channel. This guy was getting $100 pops and 50. Now I know he's giving out golden nuggets, and I'm just talking information, but I was like, what? People doing that now? What? Like, shoot, I don't know. But thank you, JJ. Appreciate it from there. So anyway, within 24 hours, the story shifted. Okay. Right there before the eyes. So what I'm saying again is the same media that sat out there and got the story that the truth happened was the same ones the next day that spread it. It was just a hoax. So can we trust our media? Or are they in on it, the big secrets too? And is that, you know, because now we can say that's been happening today, and I'm not going to get in today's conversation because we're talking about the past right now so that you can bring up what's happening today. But say, Christina, what's going on? I'm going to be on Christina's show next week. So y'all make sure y'all come because we're going to have a great time together. So greatness in greatness. And Christina, how are you doing? We're talking about Roswell. So definitely if you want to chime in on the conversation and, you know, we got that show producer thing. So if you got your cameras, girl, you let him know and he going to send you a link right now. Yeah, I know Roswell is like crazy. But what I was saying to them, Christina, right? If you weren't here earlier, I said that what I think when we think about why the big secret and we think about this whole thing here, it's like, what is the real big secret of Roswell, right? I think they're okay with us knowing that there was alien bodies. They're okay with us knowing that there's like, some crash. But I don't think we really know what's really happening. And what if the extraterrestrials gave us a cure for some of our biggest diseases? Or what if they told us some things? And what if that's the big secret? And so I'm saying we got to go beyond the narratives, right? How do we? And so what rumors have you heard, Christina, as well as the rumors of everyone else? And if y'all don't know, Christina Gomez is the bomb. She is on top of this, and she will shift your paradigm of thinking in this UFO space. So y'all check out her channel, her YouTube channel, her shows is the bomb. And that is the truth on that. But why? Why is the big secret? Is what I'm saying. Why is it something that we're missing? And they can care less. Okay, so all right, we can go, Nick would probably say technology. We're gonna know that. That email is contact. I'm gonna put it on screen at whythebigsecret.com. Contact at whythebigsecret.com. Let's see if I can magically make that happen without doing, and why my fingers is up here. Let me see if that happens, but maybe or maybe not. But yeah, that email is contact at whythebigsecret.com. So where I'm going with this is there's something bigger. So when the military quickly, within 24 hours, like they got the phone call, somebody gave them a phone call and said, cover it up now, dude, cover it up now. They do not need to know. And somebody else said, we need that stuff. And so, yeah, they transferred the material down. But whatever they did right there, they realized whatever it was, besides what we think it was, they needed to cover it up immediately. And that's what happened. So within 24 hours, the Roswell Daily printed a follow-up story. It read, General Ramsey empties the Roswell saucer, and Ramey, being the commander of the 8th Air Force, to who the Air Force Fort Worth headquarters debris was flown to. And now all of a sudden here they're saying this was a weather balloon. So I'm saying, what did they really find? Because the story was out. We knew that there was something, it was a flying saucer at that time, and there may be some alien bodies. But what causes them besides that, which they knew everybody knew? Okay. So what I'm saying is the cover-up wasn't the fact that it was a crash. It couldn't be, because everybody knew. And if they're going to come back and lie like they did and say it was a weather balloon, my question to you, truth seekers, is, was there something else that was bigger, more profound, more intense, more life-changing, threatening, whatever it was, other than a crash, and we got some bodies and we got some space debris? That cannot be centered as the biggest cover-up that we've been having as of today, and it was all about that. All right, so I'm gonna read some comments. Nick says, actually, the reason is that it would have caused global economic meltdown if it came to light that we had access to whatever energy source that they were using. Bingo, that's one. Because one thing I've said is, I have never, and I'm sure Christina haven't either, and the rest of us, we ain't never seen a UFO stop for gas. And like I said, I just put almost $6 a gallon in my car. And believe me, I want some propulsion-less, whatever technology. Give me some technology. Because let me tell you, that was $111 filling that SUV up. And I said it before, I do it once a week. And I literally is going to push it to the next location just because it was across the street. I was just going to push it over there. And I thought people thought I was nuts, but they didn't know I just didn't want to burn no extra gas. I was just going to push it. And at that time, I'm saying, come on, man, I talk about UFOs all the time. I'm friends with the ET. They could tell me that secret. I won't tell none of y'all. Yes, I would. I'll tell all of y'all. But would you, if you got contacted today, Christina, if you're watching, and they told you the secret to gasoline, but don't tell nobody, free power, free energy, would you share it with your audience? I wouldn't share it with mine. No, I'm kidding. Yes, I would. They would tell me anyway. So, all right. So anyway, here's the deal. Could you imagine? So now, if you think about what happens today, if you really think about what happens today, with the 24-hour news, how everything is going down, imagine if the power of the internet and all that was back then is what we have today. But what I'm still going to say is they still pull that same crap today on us. They really do. They change the story, right before our eyes. And I'm saying, how do they mentally know that that actually works? Who tests that to know that we can show the public something today and we can turn around, even though they see it with their eyes. Some people have touched it, and maybe not everybody enough, but we can come back and tell them what you saw was not what you saw. And they're just going to pick some out of a hat. Just tell them it was a pink dinosaur and they'll believe it. Why do they think we're that stupid? And are we that stupid as a collective? How about that question? Somebody answer that one. I ain't say you. I ain't say the individual. Are we as a collective that stupid to where they could just change the story right before our eyes, and they do that? Let me look back in here a little more. M. Saunders said, I think one of the reasons why the government is covering up the existence of extraterrestrials is because it would acknowledge that there is an intelligent life more advanced than the government. Please. That's probably it too. Without a shadow of a doubt, they have to do that. The Liz, which is eBay, or the woman from the Bay, right? I'm gonna make sure you get your account. She said, we are very stupid. I'm not gonna say the next line because we don't do that. We don't talk about politics here, but I get you. I do hear you. And the government doesn't want to give up their power. I don't even think it's the government, because I think it's a world power issue when it comes down to that. Because if you think about it, is that what am I trying to say? That's not a country on the planet that don't want to get their hands on the tech, because whoever get the first to militarize, anti-gravity, whoever get the first to can this propulsion and all, they're going to win the war of the worlds, period. And I think that's one of the things that we look at, that they all are literally looking for that. So that's why I tell y'all, it's not another adversary. It's not another country that we have to worry about. So don't even think that there's somebody else, Russia and all that stuff. And that's one of the deals. So again, it's just, we're still on Roswell. So I'll get into some more of that. I just explained a little bit about the material. I still ask y'all the question, why the big secret? Anybody else know anything? I know we talked about technology, propulsion. Christina said it is a rabbit hole of stuff that's out there, and the layers are just on top of layers on top of layers. So I believe her, definitely believe her. She's been around this long enough. She's talked to enough people that she can put a whole pie together on Roswell, and so that's cool. So my thing is for you, the person that's watching, not only what you've heard about Roswell and everything else. So real quickly, if you're listening to us on Clubhouse, we are live streaming. We're streaming here through the X network, which is the unexplained network.com. You can go there and get a lot of your UFO shows. We stream here, and we call it Freaky Fridays. I still haven't talked about enough freaky things, so we maybe change that to something. I don't know. But anyway, from Clubhouse, if you want to come into the conversation, you just hit the link. You jump over here into YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. If you have not hit that like button, and there's a lot of, let's see if we can get this thing over 30. That I need 7 people. 7. If you one of those 7, slam the thumbs up button. Please do that. And if you can do it, I'm watching it right now. So, but anyway, we are here streaming on YouTube, Clubhouse, and all that, in Roswell. And we're talking about the Roswell, the cover up itself. We're just doing a deep dive, and not only just speculation, but trying to wonder what is really happening with this thing and what questions do we all have. I got some interesting people that's in the chat. They're giving their opinion. Thank you, Mr. Catfish. Said it's a great show. Appreciate it. I'm just trying to be better every day. I call it infotainment. My job is to give you all something that you could read, possibly something that you could see, something that you can think about, something that you can hear, to only awaken your curiosity. Okay, that's all I want to do, to the possibility. So those 2 words, curiosity, possibility, that we're not alone in the universe. And the rest of that is curiosity on you, becoming a truth seeker, seeking the truth. in looking what these big secret keepers. Because if I came out and just told you the UFOs are real, yeah, and then I'm gonna sound like those people on Independence Day standing up on top of that roof. They're opening up, and get blew up. Y'all remember that one? And so I'm not going out like that. But I am gonna give you the facts to just open your possibilities to the curiosity that we're not alone in this universe and UFOs are real. All right, so the plot thickens at Roswell now, okay, because we don't move from the debris side of things. The announcement, now they done changed it. Now they're saying the public is stupid, don't tell them, and then let's just tell them it was a weather balloon, and that's all the debris that everybody has. What happened to the former dude though? See, we ain't heard no more stories about him. Y'all remember Brazel? What happened to him? Did he get paid off? Do his family still have some of the pieces? I'm sure he was smart enough not to give them everything, right? He had to be. It's got to be something in their family somewhere. He had to. So what happened to that? Did he get paid? Or did he disappear? Is he somewhere in, of course he didn't disappear. The history didn't say that. But the whole point I'm saying is what happened in this situation. Okay, so I'm gonna see what's going on in the chat here. But I'm going to open up our next part of this. And the next part is the crash was rediscovered in 1978 by nuclear physics turned ufologist Stanton Freeman. This is what a plot thickens. And I call Stanton the grandfather of ufology. And let me give you a quick story. There was a time that I did an interview. And before the interview started, I talked to Linda Moulton Howe. And we was on the telephone using technology that we have today. And I said something about the name of my show, or the time on Clubhouse is going to be my pilot, was called Ufology. That was the name. And she quickly gave me a history lesson. She says, Roderick, I'm not down with the name, but I'm still going to do it. She said, because ufology was a term that the military used to identify people that was in ufologists. It's like a term that they will introduce you and say, hi, this is Mr. Catfish 2100. Sorry, I could use somebody else, Margaret Gonzalez, JJ, but I just want to incorporate y'all in the story because I'm telling a story as though we just sitting around chilling. So anyway, she says to me, she says, Roderick, this is where if they came up to you in a place, they will say something to the effect of, this is Roderick Martin. He's in ufology. And it was like a cuckoo term, okay, for them to identify the fact that you are studying. And so it was a military, there's their back end name instead of crazy that they called it, okay. Now, Stanton, who was Linda's friend, said, wait a minute. We are ufologists. We are investigating this phenomena, and we should embrace the term ufology, hence ufologist. That's the story she told me on the phone. And Stanton Freeman, although the term was there at some point, but he said, hey, you know what? Let's embrace it as who we are. And today we are ufology and ufology. In fact, I'm going to say that. My license plates on my car says that. So, And I'm in the jumbo state, y'all. And let you know, I'm in a jumbo state where UFOs come to play. So it's a Texas thing. I know y'all don't get it, but you will. All right. So Stan Freeman who was tipped off by a retired military man and was interested in the story, nonetheless, than Jesse Marcel. So Jesse Marcel in 1978. So this was way after the fact. Tipped off Stanton Freeman. Okay. So I'm gonna give you some history here. Stanton Freeman Marcel. Okay. Remember Marcel was in that area in the beginning. And this is years later, told Freeman that the weather balloon explanation had been a cover story and that the photos has been staged, and with the weather balloon debris was being substituted for real wreckage. Now, if we go back to what I shared with you in the beginning, Marcel was in the original story of Brazel taking, the story of him getting the debris, and this is passed along. So wouldn't he have known? could we believe what he said? Absolutely. So he tells Stanton Freeman in 1978. So we're talking 78 from 47. So this is obviously 30 something years later. Now, my guess is Marcel is old at this time. And usually when people are at a certain age, they like to start telling the secrets before they transition to the next place. That's me watching The Closer all the time. I learned that. She said it's hard enough a secret is to have. She says it's harder for them to keep, especially if they're about to die or getting old. So I ain't said he was going to do that, but he is gone. So, but the whole point is he now reveals to Stanton Freeman in 1978, way after this event, and he said that these balloons was a cover story. So is he telling us something new? Did he tell? Well, he told him at the time, but for us, as we look back on it, we know it was a damn cover up, because we know now they didn't know what we know today because we in it and we got UAP hearings. We got all of this stuff that's happening right now. So obviously, you know, they don't know what we know now. But if we look back into the past, like I try to tell you, to identify what's happening today, we now know it was a cover up. So why we know they lied then, they lied now, and they're going to lie in the future. Okay. Unless all of your children become tomorrow's politicians and then you let them know to break the story completely wide open. So start telling the kids right now, teach them that. So anyway, he claimed that everyone involved in the retrieval was clear. The object had indeed been an extraterrestrial spaceship. Okay. Marcel tells Stanton Freeman that he knew everybody. He said, not just me, not just the people from the farm, not the people that reported it first, and not such and such, such and such. He said everybody around this thing, from the kids, the ducks that was sitting in the farm, the cows that was out there in the pasture, you know, the flies that was biting the cows, you know, all of these. He said everybody was in on this deal. And they all knew it did not come from here. How do you get that many people? The animals, the birds, the ants, the people, the newspapers, the little kids, the bigger kids, the grown full adults, the military. How do you get all these people to change their stories and begin the whole new cover up that here we are 75 years later, got to come back and say, come on, y'all, what were y'all doing? They lying. How much power was in place at that time? I don't know. People like, yeah, we know, they move on. But Margaret says the government is so much lax on admitting aliens exist that people on a large scale are numb to the idea. I know. JJ says, Roderick, a bit off the topic, but would you have asked Boyd Bushman onto your show if he was still alive? I don't even know him, be honest with you, JJ. Tell me about that dude, and we'll now let you know. What's his story? What everybody got a story. What's his story? All right. So, but that's good. I'm glad you know of some things and get me going. All right. So anyway, once again, a number of the retired military personnel who've been based at the Roswell, you know, collaborated with some of the elements of the crash spaceship narrative and added their own details. Now the lie gets bigger. The lie is getting bigger. So I'm just giving you a timeline. So Marcel saying that everybody knew it was a space debris extraterrestrial. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Okay. It's not, you know, okay, let me use the term. The word on the street was that there was a extraterrestrial. Now, you know, if you hear the word on the street from where I come from, you can best believe you can stab it because it is true. You can hear such and such said this and did that. You know, Kiki didn't do this, Kiki that. But then when somebody else said the word on the street, Kiki did this, then you know, okay, now we got the truth. Because the word on the street ain't gonna lie. Okay. So the word on the street, as I used the terminology, was that everybody collaborated on the story and they all changed it to fit. They all was in on this. Skeptics argued that they were simply telling the researchers what they wanted to hear, writing themselves into the story in either as a prank or because they were seeking attention. Either way, the books was written, documentaries, drama series, movies was made. The ideal of the crash, you know, was so embedded, of course, in our culture, because it's all we talked about today, where I'm in, that this was something that was crazy. And people had no particular interest in. So what they did was they effectively made the UFO phenomena a cuckoo story. And that's how it became, where if you say you saw a UFO, you're crazy. People wouldn't do it because they didn't want to lose their jobs. People wouldn't. So this was a big effort, people. So we're going to have to go past the narrative that it was just the big secret keepers who started all of this mess. There was some other people, writers, newspaper people. They all were in on the big deal to make this thing cuckoo. Now, the problem that we have today is this simply. So over the last 70 years, we'll spend all of our time telling everybody, don't believe the government, don't believe the big secret keepers, don't believe them, don't believe them, don't believe them, don't believe them. And then when they finally now want to come out and say UFOs are real, we can't get those same people who've been told all of this time not to believe them. And then we say, hey, man, the government is disclosing information because we're doing the same thing. And now they're making us look crazy again because people say, man, don't believe them folks. That ain't real. They don't know nothing. So it's like they're one step ahead of us. They're one step ahead of us, manipulating these stories of the past, dictating what's happening in the future, in essence, as you can see today, from what's going on. So how do we do something with that? Okay. How do we make sure going forward that we, the people, the big secret keepers, not us, we are the truth seekers, I'm sorry, but how do we keep those big secret keepers on their edge so that we don't have a problem with that? Because obviously they got to have some accountability at this point. And I told y'all, if we start the movement UFO taxes, we probably could get everybody who's out there thinking it's a crazy subject and they're out there paying these dollars, when they go to work every day. And if you got your paycheck today and there was government taxes taken out today, I want you to know some of it was paid on the UFO office, that they just bought an $1,100 chair and a $250 toilet seat and some paintings that they're putting on a wall, and they spent your money. What do you got to say about that? Well, you can say you can give me a little something for it. Can I call in, Roderick? Are you on Clubhouse, Justin? I don't have a called-in system turned on. I could turn it on and give out the number. I pay my state every day. You damn right you do, because you're working and you paying for the UFO program. Plain and simple. And if you watching me right now and you are here, you're a skeptic and like, what is this crazy dude talking about UFOs? You in on it too. Okay? You're in on it. Because if you haven't been paying attention, Congress just voted. They had hearings. The last COVID relief package where you got that $600, in that $5,000 package was a provision from taxpayers' money, of course, to investigate the possibilities of UFOs. And now we're so far in this thing, it's there. So let's move on with the Roswell stuff. We got, 27 minutes left, or 17 minutes, 27 minutes. Now we're moving up into the 90s, because I took you from 78. I took you from the beginning. We're going down this timeline. So now we're at a point. No Clubhouse for me, brother. Just YouTube. When is the next hearing? I'm live broadcast. I don't really know when the next hearing. So I don't have the system set up. I could. It may take me a minute, but I wish you could call in. But I could turn it on and plug you in. But then I'll try it in a minute. But if I can't, we'll if you type it or something you want to say, then we can definitely do that. So at this point, we're now in this Roswell thing is moving through this timeline, and it's still a lie, or not a lie, but they're changing it. And now they may come back and want to say something. And, we talk about the 40s when it happened, they admitted it, and then they come back. changed it, took a whole full U-turn and said, oh no, it is crazy. These dudes are crazy. And then we get a whistleblower, which Marcel would have been, excuse me, he would have been considered a whistleblower in today's society. He would have been considered damn near a hero, talking to Stan Freeman and telling him that information. In today's account, he would have been considered a hero. But because we don't have that much media and the way things was going back then, they still, no matter how much concrete evidence he would have gave Stan Freeman back in the 70s, they wouldn't have believed it anyway. So Chris said the next hearing delayed by other hearings allegedly, but hopefully won't be too long. We need to keep the momentum going. What momentum though, Chris? I mean, did you see how they handled us in this last hearing? Did y'all hear the part when they said, oh, is there an accountability for people reporting UFOs as though they want to set something in place to now threaten, lock you up for what they want to call false reports, which every UFO report is going to start out false anyway, because we know it's unidentified. We don't even know what it is. So if they put a classification, oh shit, don't get me started on that. But anyway, so now people are looking at this thing as we move further on with the Roswell incident. It was claimed, for example, that the wreckage by this point was taken to Area 51, okay, which is a remote Nevada desert. We know that. Now, they talked about there in Area 51, there was the Blackbird, there was the stealth fighters. In fact, I got these books, and I wish I'd have brought them in here, of a guy, I forget his name, and he autographed them. He worked on all of those. He gave me these books on all of these, planes and stuff. But such of the storylines wouldn't have been the same today if they turned up in plots and movies like we got Independence Day, TV shows, X-Files. And one of the things that really challenged the X-Files in these TV shows, and speaking of TV shows, if you didn't know, I am hosting a TV show. It's streaming right now on the Discovery Plus channel. Yes, it's TV show host. I'm one of 3 hosts. It's called The Alien Endgame, and it's about military encounters where our government ordered some of our pilots from the past to fire up on the UFOs back in the 50s. Some of them lost their lives. Some lived to tell about it. Nick Pope, a lot of Michikaku, a lot of people in this story where they declassify some of the information and share. I am the UFO investigator. Melissa Tittle is the investigative reporter. Rich Emlin is the main guy. It is now streaming on Discovery Plus. It's called Alien Endgame. Yeah, my TV debut. Also in the Black Knight satellite. I'm one of the experts in that with Billy Carson on Forbidden Knowledge TV. And it's the Black Knight satellite Beyond the Signal. You got to check that booger out because Billy is deep. Next week, look for Fox Tubi. I don't know the exact name of the show, but I know it's the Roswell, New Mexico's anniversary. I am hosting, I'm one of the experts in that TV show. Also, I just finished a whole full season, 8 episodes for Billy's station. It's called Why the Big Secret. So that's our own TV show, Why the Big Secret TV show. A whole full season 1 will be, I've already taped it. It's going to be airing on Forbidden Knowledge TV. And then if you know of Gaia TV, I'm one of their brand ambassadors, but I also was on George Norrie's show, which that should be airing in a few months, which he did say he's going to get me on Coast to Coast to do a couple of shows. So I can't wait. That was a dream come true. I told him. He asked me when I was there, he says, anything, what is it? And I said, it's beyond belief what I want to tell you, George. He says, what is that, Roderick? I said, I would love to be on Coast to Coast. And he looked at me and I thought he was going to say, shit, that is beyond to believe. You ain't going on there. Well, later on, he came out when I was leaving. He said, get that man on there. And we're going to make his dream come true. I was like, what? Well, anyway, so I'll go back in September to film Open Minds. That's the TV show I'll be on in September, and they'll show that a few months. And then go back to George's show in January. And then I have another deal that I'm working with one of the networks now. So pretty busy, but hit the like button. Again, we should have way more from there. And we could do that. So he says, and about to go life be up on Roderick. Appreciate it, man. Peace to be upon you. Peace and blessings is what they say. So anyway, back to the story. And and I'll read some more of this stuff in here. So we now look at the films and stuff like Independence Day, like I was saying. We got the TV shows, the X-Files, and all of this stuff. Now come to start thinking about it. Y'all remember the movie Stargates and all this stuff. Now this is where Hollywood got in on the game. Okay. Hollywood somehow is connected to our government. I think so. That's my personal opinion, that somebody feeds them stories to make great movies, some truths, so that they can put it out there in public. And then when we do say, hey, wait a minute, this thing came from Area 51, not Area 51, but that down here at the Air Force Base or wherever they, took the debris. And then they can turn around and say, no, he don't know what he's talking about. He saw that on a movie. It wasn't true. That's a movie. Okay. And I think that's part of the process of putting these movies out there so that we think what we think in the movie is true to be true. But then after that, it's not true. Okay. Or they can use that and say, oh, these guys don't know a hell of what they're talking about. It's not true. So that is one of those things. Roderick B to 33. I was looking at that up and they said my numbers are 7 and 3 or something and whatever. So now the conclusion is the culprit indeed is the high altitude balloon they're trying to say that exists. And remember in the Battle of Los Angeles, this was the same thing. They tried to say that this balloon was the same thing, or we were shooting at these balloons and could knock them down with all this artillery. So I don't even know why they use it. Maybe I think the Battle of Los Angeles was before Roswell. If I'm not, please let me know. And I think because that worked is why they used it. Because they was like, it worked then, it can work now. And hell, we was shooting all night. And then they believed that one. So you're correct, Roderick. That was a leak from the CIA. See, I knew something because everybody's in on this deal. And they're messing with us from there. So now, the conclusion, again, is that during the 1990s, let me make sure I put this out, the U.S. government succumbed to the media public pressure and started launching their own retrospective investigations. Now, it's funny they said that because I ran across an article. I don't know if y'all heard of this plane. It's called the Pancake or Flying Pancake or something. This thing looked just like a flying saucer, but it had propellers. And at that time, they didn't have jet engines. So I'm like, even the Air Force back then in the 40s and 50s was getting in on it, making up these planes to fly around. So we think we see flying saucers. Look it up. The Flying Pancake or something. Y'all might have seen that. Crazy stuff. In fact, I'll Google that one. I think I can. And maybe pop the picture up here for you, but it will trip you out that this exists, and it was a flying pancake fighter is what it was called. Okay, I have it. So I'm gonna put it on the screen right now. I'm gonna share my screen for you, and it will trip you out that you see that the cover up, they was in on this thing for a very long time. So check this out real quickly. And I'm gonna actually bring it if I can. I don't know. There we go. There you go. So there you go. Let me take that banner off so you can kind of see it a little better here. But look at that. This was back then. They had this is called a flying pancake. All right. So you see it's supposed to look like a flying saucer. But if you think about it at this point, it's going to look that way because number one, they trying to emulate flying saucers back then to fool us then. Okay. So this is really crazy that our government would even be trying to pull this off. So this was back then. So a lot of these instances could have been that flying pancake. All right. That was there. And so they create, and then of course, like I said, the propellers, you wouldn't have seen it in the sky anyway. So it's going to look like a UFO, and they didn't have jet engines, I don't think, way back then when they did this. So this was their way of trying to create a flying saucer. I don't know what military use that thing would have had, but I do know they put it out there. Okay. We got about 6 minutes. Okay. And because we on radio time and I got to finish on time, in time for you. So I do have a lot. Maybe we'll put some more of this together. But But let's just get into the present day a little bit, because there was something else I want to share with y'all before we get out of here. So if you fast forward to now, the topic of UFOs is transitioning now. Okay, it's not so much, you know, that secret squirrel stuff that you can't talk about anymore, because people are now talking about it. It's mainstream media. In fact, I can seriously say, had I started this career 4 or 5 years ago, it'd have been a little difficult. And you talking about, like Ray Kroc says, secret of success is being in the right place at the right time and doing something about it. I was in the right place at the right time last year, a couple of years ago, when I said, okay, I'm gonna start talking about this openly, and then got on Clubhouse, grew that club from 100 to 26,000 people that it is today, and doing a weekly show, winning their Creators First program, you know, sponsoring a UFO show, and then of course being seen by Discovery last year. Being in the right place at the right time is seriously, and doing something about it is that true remedy. So if we look at it now, we're talking mainstream media is where we are with this. And so people are being okay. I call it vindication time. I think it's more vindication, because the people who were ridiculed and all of that now can come back and say, what? UFOs are real. And we got proof. So I think it's one of those things. So Deborah says she totally believed UFOs was human made. So are you saying today some of the UFOs, all of the UFOs, or do you not believe UFOs exist? Please answer that, Deborah, for me. I would love to get your perspective from that. So, but are you saying some of them was man-made? I agree, some were. Take your time, Roderick. I'm here with you, brother. Well, I'm on radio time, so I don't think I can run over unless he hits me. There is somebody behind the scenes watching the watchers. They're watching me. And if he says, Roderick, you can keep going, you can keep going. But they're on radio time because they have another show that's going to keep coming. So I have to stop in 4 minutes. Yeah. And he hadn't said anything, so he's still here. So let me stop sharing my screen with that thing. But another thing that, and like I said, we can keep going, but I might have to, it's 9 o'clock. Now I could, I'm open. I could pop a channel back open on the Why the Big Secret later, and we can continue. I don't have a problem with that. And yeah, we could do that in a heartbeat. Wait a minute, I'm getting a phone call. I'm getting the call. Let me see. And he doesn't know, but y'all can hear this. Let me try to figure this out. Crap. Okay. Uh-oh. I lost my Clubhouse. Man. All right, so let me answer that. Hold on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. All right. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So the phone call came in that we can continue the show. Okay. Clubhouse, I hope y'all hear me because it got unplugged right then. So I just was told we can continue on with the show. They'll move me out of the radio segment of the 2 hours, but we can continue here. Is that fair enough, everyone? Let me know in the channel. I will continue. Let me know if that's okay. We can continue because I got a lot to finish. And so please let me know you're still here with me. You want me to go on? I'll keep going. I just need to know what y'all think about it as well. And I'll keep telling the story. And sorry, Clubhouse, it got unplugged for a minute there. And you should be able to continue to hear everything. So hit me in the YouTube chat to continue. Keep going, brother. Keep going. Okay, cool. Yes. Continue. All right. It's coming in. So we're going to continue because we hot. We coming in hot. We hot. And we got a couple other things to talk about because there was something that came across the wire. It is not all the way UFO study, but it was a case study that said a new study finds that most of us think that we can get away with murder. I was like, oh shucks, I want to talk to our people about that one. That'll be at the end of the show. But I'm like, people think they can get away with murder? Do you think? Have I ever thought about that before? I'm like, man, you just got to kill that person. I don't know. So I haven't. Or maybe I have. I don't know. But anyway, so let's get back on it. So we know that this big secret thing is happening. And now we think about the movies. So what movie do any of you think, what movie do any of you think that they are infusing the UFO phenomena in with some truth, but with the intent on messing up the public's perception? What movie y'all think? And hit me with whatever movie. I think Independence Day was a very entertainment movie. Now, I didn't think about it, that they could be in on the Roswell story, trying to, make us, look crazy. But what do y'all think? What shows out there? Because if you don't remember, and we'll continue with the Roswell, but if you don't remember, there was Stargate. Y'all remember Stargate, the thing. But it is said that Stargate truly had the Air Force played true cameos within the movie. And the reason being, just to kind of like let us know, but they are monitoring the stuff. So it's like, whoa, so they're telling us some of this stuff is true, but they was doing this so that, just like they was doing here in Roswell, making sure that people did know the truth. And if they literally put it in the hands of, okay, this is a movie, then they're not going to believe it anyway. So Another Life on Netflix, someone that said Independence Day, Mars Attack. Okay, I get you. Music video, actually, Aero systems are down. I'm telling you, y'all hitting it up today, man. Y'all are hitting it up. Again, if you have not had an opportunity, if you just here with us, hit the like button, share this channel. KG would have told you, but I'm jumping on it before he did. Another Life is excellent, and I understand. I've never seen that one movie, so I need to check if that's a movie, y'all. I'll check that out. If you're in Clubhouse, I want to thank you for listening. We're live on YouTube. Why the Big Secret airing, and we're airing from the UNX network and the X, and that's where we're from right now, and we're doing that. So definitely we could. So anyway, if you want to get your full dose of UFO shows, go to the unxnetwork.com, and the Unexplained Network is what it's called, and they have a plethora of shows and different people there. And this is the Friday night show. We're no longer live there. We're now live here just on YouTube because my 2-hour slot. So we can keep talking because we're live. So, but here's the deal. Like I was saying with the movie Stargate, was totally different, right? Stargate was designed. It was a great movie, but they were saying that the Air Force literally had cameos within it, similar to what they talking about with this Roswell. We got all these movies now, and of course with Roswell, you got a whole town, an ecosystem built around the rumor, the truth, the lies, and whatever else. A whole town. Okay. You go down there, it is a ecosystem when it comes down to UFOs made from this Roswell, New Mexico incident. But I wonder if people start really finding out that it's true, would the ecosystem stay in place? Will people no longer visit it because it's now the norm and it's not this cuckoo conspiracy? What do y'all think? Would Roswell, New Mexico's ecosystem stay in place financially? Area 51, all of this stuff, I mean, would they stay in place now that people we're beginning to be mainstream talking about UFOs and all that? So once again, I'm Roderick Martin. Why the Big Secret? We're at the top of the hour. I am a UFO investigator in here in the Jumbo State. Okay. And this is where the UFOs come out to play. They come out to play here. And if you wonder where that is, it's a Texas thing, y'all. This is where I'm at. And so once again, I bid you, if you are new here, I bid you good evening, wherever you may be, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are watching this show, because we're in 24 time zones with YouTube. We're all over the place, okay? And of course, I'm airing in YouTube and then the podcast. Thanks, people that I've already said earlier, you came over from the podcast that you heard on Spotify. I appreciate it. Definitely want to do that as well. And if you got some stories or you got an experience and you want to share it, you don't mind coming on live and we talk about your experience in a way that is not going to offend you, but to support you. hit me on contact@whythebigsecret.com. That's my email address. But if you do send a story, put your telephone number, because I will call you. It's what I do. I will pick up the phone. I will call you personally, and we will talk about it. Okay. Definitely want to do that. Good morning from the UK. That's what I'm talking about, because we're all over the place. We are the boldest, baffling, belligerent YouTube channel in the world, creating captivating conversations that'll certainly cause controversy. That's what we do here with Why the Big Secret, because we're looking for the secret. I'm Roderick Martin, and I'm glad that you're with me, because you could have been any other place, but you chose to be right here, right now. So the conclusion, what we're saying to the Roswell, not the conclusion, we're still deep into this thing. Big love from Bristol, the Bristol. Where is that, Chris? Where is the Bristol? What time is that there? What time zone, and where is it? Oh, the UK. That's what he was saying. Okay, he said that earlier. Okay, y'all about 8 hours ahead, right? So the UK right now will be what, 4, 7, 4? Jesus, 5 o'clock in the morning? Man, my hat's off to you. Shoes. If you watch me 5 o'clock in the morning, dude, I'm gonna give you what you come for. Okay, definitely. If it's 5 a.m. in the morning. Okay. So the second government report. Let me get back to this. The whole thing about the flying disc story was a local initiative designed to throw the media off through a true story, is what they were saying. And with the higher command subsequently overruling the plan, saying it was a weather balloon. Okay. Now the second government report released conceded it was 3 a.m., but it's late. Whoa. Well, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. It's 3 a.m. Yeah, and they always say it's 5 o'clock somewhere too, somewhere, so people can get off work. But 3 a.m. Appreciate you watching. But anyway, they said the United States Air Force felt that they had to address the issue, and convoluted their theory suggested that people had conflated that the 1947 crash with test in 1950s was crash dummies. They were saying, listen to what I'm talking about. They tried to say that anthropomorphic crash dummies had been dropped to the test efficacy of the military parachutes. So it was said at some point, and then they even tried this recently when we talked about those lights that happened in San Diego the other day. Someone just said recently, I saw it on Twitter today, that the military dropped flares from parachutes that stood still in the sky. Really? Now they had this from Roswell that there was dummies. These graves was dummies. They tried everything under the book back then, and they're talking about this now to cover up a story that was the pinnacle of all of this. And I'm saying to you, do you see the moving parts, the militaries, the press? There was local people, other folks that was all involved in the cover-up. All these people was involved in the cover-up. They made sure they covered this thing up. So that's why I use the term big secret keepers, because it's bigger than just the government themselves. So I want us to put anyone in that ball of wax that is helping anybody keeping a secret from us, the truth seekers. They're big secret keepers, because that could be an individual, it could be a corporation, it can be the government, it can be people. They all are in on this thing, hiding the secret. And the question is, why the big secret? There's got to be something bigger. JJ said, Roderick, no, not flares, but I mentioned to you what they would have covered with the story in 1 to 3 days. All right. Well, somebody recently said, okay, JJ, I haven't had the updates today. I just saw that they said that they dropped some from some freaking airplane or something. I don't know. All right. So by this time, however, the Roswell had became the UFO community's flagship case. Remember, I said that, and they built a economy around this thing. And now, so once again, you're not going to crash an economy with the truth. They got to keep this speculation, this mystery going, because it's worth billions in that area, billions of dollars, billions and billions of dollars. Now, Glenn, welcome to the channel, says back in the 50s, people would have freaked out and couldn't handle it. But now we all are there. we all know there's life out there, so just come clean. Would it be nice? That's the whole point. They're not going to do it because, once again, it's too much like right. I think the government stuff, Glenn, has changed a little bit to answer that, to kind of dive into what you said. Because back then, you know, the politicians and everything, nobody would stick their reputation up on talking about a UFO. Now we have new senators and young people that have grown up in this with curiosity. So that's who's pushing the narratives or the new disclosure efforts. Is, you know, some of the younger ones are saying, wait a minute, or some of the older ones who are now like, whoa, something is really truly happening. But it's still cover up today, and more cover up. And all it is money. You follow the money. They all want money. They all want us to vote more and more money. They can tell us what we already know. Trust the witnesses. They already know. They've been telling us. They already know. Okay. Hopefully everybody have subscribed to this channel. I want to really truly, as we interview more people, to be a different perspective. Now, I'll tell you what I am doing, and hopefully it doesn't alienate any of you. I'm in my community, African American community. This has always been a hard topic when it comes down to the UFOs and aliens and extraterrestrials, and I do believe it falls on the religious lines. Okay, so I've been reading this book, you know, Religions and Extraterrestrials, and it's just so profound, especially all these scriptures that refers to extraterrestrial. But I want to, if anyone know anybody, whether they're athletes or maybe they, you know, got a little profile or whatever, I want to get them on the show, especially if they're African American. But I'll talk to anybody. So, but I'm looking to really truly push some things in the community to broaden our community, but still the community of ufology. So I'm not, and I appreciate everybody, but just see where I'm going with this. Because there is a taboo of it. And if you know, please use my email, contact at whythebigsecret.com. Send me a number, your number. If you got a friend, they don't even have to have they don't have to experience and seen a UFO. I just want to hear their perspective on it. Okay. Their perspective, whether it's an athlete, whether it's you know, somebody with some statue that we can get the word out about the channel, or what, to help that too. So if you know anybody, friend, family, cousin, that we can just talk to, have them here. I just want to talk to them. Do you believe UFOs are real? That'd be my first question. That's all I would do. So if you know anybody, we can help with that. And Nick said he's going to be a show producer, so we're coming. All right. So as we get to the end of some of this part here, because we will be leaving in a little bit, but my whole thing about this was to talk about the history of Roswell and bring it into some significance of today. So as you remember, fast forward today, the topic has been steadily transitioned from a fringe to mainstream over the last few years, at least here in the United States. But we did miss the chance of having the freaking World UFO Day that Brazil now have it based on our story. We didn't have the kahunas to say we're going to make the first UFO Day in the United States. That is crazy. We couldn't do it. But the process started in 2017 when two related scoops from the New York Times, remember, the stories came out. So this is how this thing is moving down its timeline. And its first was the revelation of the U.S. Navy videos that was taken from those fast jets, right? And secondly, the existence of, at this time, was ATIP. Remember that came out, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, which Lou Elizondo was a part of, and so many others. Now, the exact role of ATIP at this time is still in subject of dispute, because I was talking about it recently. We all trying to look, what were they really doing? Who was part of it? I think recently on Twitter, one of the scientists or one of the guys, they leaked his name now. He was part of it. I mean, it's just so many. Yeah. So Nick said program director. Yes, Nick Larkin will get to be the new program director of Why the Big Secret, because we're going large, baby. You know what I really want to do? I want to do a syndicated radio show, or the first TV show at night, like an Ellen DeGeneres, but we got ETs talking extraterrestrials. Can y'all imagine have a night show where we're talking about ETs and stuff at night on TV, you know what I'm saying? Bringing people in, talking about their experiences. Oh man, it'll be so great. It'll be so great. So anyway, the guys, please hit the like button, share the video, get more, share it. Yeah, because I don't be telling y'all to share. I always just say like, but yeah, let's see if we can get to 50. We need 6 people to get to 50. If 6 of you out there have not done this, please hit the like button, share the videos. If you find value in what I'm doing, share the video, hit the like button. Let's put that thing out there. Let's do that. And they say you can do a travel segment from your MUFON or something similar. When you say travel segment, what do you mean by that? Please tell me. MUFON did give me the permission to go over some of the cases that I can talk about on the show. So I am going through and seeing how can I articulate those or put that in so you can see and talk about it. So we'll do that. But the significant, we're talking about the ATIP is still in dispute, but the Pentagon's confirmed that it is. It's part of their study. Now, this is significant because previously, we're talking about ATIP, is the U.S. government said the officials' interest in the topic ceased to end in 1969. So I was born in 1970. Okay, now you know I am 25 times 2 plus 2. That's how old I am. And this is when they had the old Air Force program, Project Blue Book, and it had been terminated. Okay. It's kind of weird there. Okay. The New York Times story, which was seized up on by Congress and classified briefings followed, with a number of high-profile politicians, Republicans, Democrats alike speaking out on the issue. And then in the summer of 2021, remember, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence published their inconclusive preliminary assessment, the 180-day thing. Most of the sightings were studied and remained unexplained. But yet Brazil has a World UFO Day, but we're still saying unexplained. Man, we should have jumped on that one, man. It should have been American holiday. UFO Day should have been American holiday, paid holiday, since you're paying for it in your tax money, just to add another holiday, a UFO holiday. World, because they're doing it over there, so why not? Most recently, though, multiple UFO-related provisions was included in the defense bill, remember, requiring the Department of Defense, the military intelligence community to work together. And I said this before because one of the things that we talked about, and I give you an example of where we are and why it's important that they are working together. So let me use this mouse, which actually looks like a UFO anyway, right? Like a Tic Tac, right? So this is going to be my example for you. So picture this, and I've said this before. This is a UFO. If you're on Clubhouse, sorry, I'll just be as scripted as I can for you. But I'm holding it in my hand as a mouse that got this oval shape that could pass for a UFO, depending on how far you've seen this thing. A Tic Tac for sure. Apple is on or something. But here's the deal. This UFO is seen in Florida. It comes up out of the water because that's where they're coming from, or space. So it's spotted by the Coast Guard. So the Coast Guard is recording a UFO that they just seen in the water. Okay. And now this time the Navy picks it up. Our Navy picks it up on their radar system of a UFO. All along, as it treks its way, the Army senses something. Now it's in the sky. So this thing done moved up in the thing, and it zips across United States within minutes, seconds, milliseconds, speed of light, right? Now the Air Force sees this thing along the way. Now they're recording it. Okay. But it then stops in Texas where I'm at, and it abducts somebody who was at McDonald's at 2:00 in the morning trying to get a Big Mac. So it says, no, let me pick you up. I don't want you to eat that. It's trying to save humanity. So it picks you up, or whoever it was, and the same UFO goes back, and now it's heading to California in milliseconds. Okay. Now it's the water. Then you got the Army is on the ground. So the Army got the report of the abduction. The Air Force seen it fly through, the Coast Guard, the Navy, but all of these people are reporting in their own compartmentalized way. They're not commingling. So they all got 5, 6 different UFO sightings, which possibly is the same sighting, but we don't know that because they don't talk, they don't communicate. So this last provision that Congress put in place, they want a centralized database so that all of these people will begin to share a consistent place for information. The problem is they don't play good together. The Air Force can give a damn about what the Navy thinks, the Navy can give a damn about what the Army thinks, and the Army don't care what both of them thinks. So the problem is they don't communicate, and we're still, and all right, the President of the United States is the commander-in-chief, or commander-in-chief, okay? He can order all of y'all kids play together, but they don't listen to him when it comes down to stuff like that. Maybe who we go to war with or something, but he is not knowing what's happening on these UFO programs. They don't tell him that. So this is the problem that we have. So everybody's seeing the same thing, and it's really shocking from there. Margaret says, JJ and Roderick, I live in California. I heard those lights of San Diego were Navy flare drills off the course. Margaret, let me tell you something. The flares, and Nick, if he's still here, Nick Larkin is a former intelligence officer. I'm sure he will concur with me. We don't have a flare that will shoot up in the sky and sit there 1 hour stationary. It's impossible, I almost think, for now. And why would they invent such a technology that they will have a rescue flare, that one of our military people who's going to be out in the middle of war zone is going to shoot something that's going to light them up for an hour to be rescued, number one, but then the enemy can say, boy, do we know where you at for a whole hour? That's just me talking, and Nick can probably help me out with that one, because that technology is probably not going to coexist. And I don't think we have anybody in the military who will be out in the jungle and is going to say, I got a flare that's going to light my ass up for an hour in the sky, and then still got to wait an hour to be rescued, but we're going to just shoot it up here and let this thing sit there. Man, they will be in big trouble. So I don't buy that one. And then there was a report, Margaret, too, that some people, and I showed the slides the other day, go back into the other live stream, that we showed that the Air Force scrambled jets looking for this thing. You can see it on the radar 24. This is what we use as UFO investigators, flight radar, to determine if there was any flight indicator of planes in a vicinity of a report. They showed that they were flying around looking for something, and it wasn't because those flares was up there. That's for sure. Deborah says, Roderick, this story reminds me of a light I saw on a flight from London to New York City on a commercial jet. It suddenly appeared and was flying consistent speeds and suddenly zoomed off. Nick says, no way. Flares have parachutes. Okay. Flares have parachutes, and also 1 hour of flare fuel phosphorus would fill a 50-gallon drum. So what he's saying is, hell no, that was not what it was. JJ once again saying the lights were not the Navy or the other military branch, but JJ is not going to tell y'all that it was Rumpelstiltskin who put the flares out there. He's not going to tell you exactly what it was. Exactly. Right, JJ? We're not going to do that. We're going to get them to assume what we think it was. You know, from that standpoint, I would say. Roderick, I don't believe that there was flares myself, but a lot of people believe there were. Yeah, because, you know, Margaret, that's what they do. This is how they, remember I said it early in the show when I was saying, how do they do that? How can something come out one day and people see it, and then they can come out with an explanation and the whole world changes their mind, or most people, just the very next day, that don't even make sense. But only because, and this is the true testament. Y'all listen to me right now. This is the true exact testament. All right, we had 45 likes. 6 likes gets us over 50, and that would be 60 is one of our best ever likes or any of our shows, or maybe something, but we get over 50, we kicking it. Okay, so 6 people. If you have not hit the like button, hit it. But listen, that's my true testament, Margaret, when I talk about my slogan that I use in this show. Now listen up, I'm gonna do it right here. Your eyes are useless when your mind is blind, it's time to think why. And that's why I said at the end and I started at the beginning, because if your mind is blind, and what I mean is closed off from information, a possibility, curiosity, or what we call literally lazy, and what that simply means as some people don't want to look at information that they deem to be true, and then they don't want to get enough information that possibly what they thought was true could now be false, and the same exact where somebody said that is not true, and then they get enough information and they find that it is true. Some people just won't go the extra mile, but the whole point is when their mind is, and as Nick said about a parachute, your mind is like a parachute. It really is. It works best when it's open. That's, plain and simple logic there. But the whole point I'm saying is that when they do this, if people's mind is not open to the possibility, number one, that extraterrestrial life exists, there's life out there, there's existence of all these things, then they can be told the next day that there was flares and UFOs are not real, and they can do that. Margaret said, I agree with Nick. An hour sounds like a rough estimate. Well, Nick is a former Navy intelligence officer. Okay. Highly intelligent individual, very knowledgeable, so he kind of given us some good scopes there. Okay. So AJ said their eyes are blind when the mind is closed. Sadly, many do not know how to truly open their minds. Well, if there's a key, we can just open it, JJ. But outside of that, it's shows like this. If they watch it long enough, and if I can do a good job of presenting things that they can see and they can read and hear and awaken their curiosity to the possibility. I just want their possibility, and then I'll do a good job for that. Okay. Those are one of the things. So it's, once again, as we come to a close on this Roswell story, all I'm saying is today, everything is in the spotlights. We're here. They're trying to give us disclosure. They're trying to say everything but the truth, that we're not alone or UFOs exist. And I think there's something coming, not something as in something physically harmful, but I think there's just, you remember the extraterrestrials told the Israeli guy that it is time. They think it's time humanity know that they exist. So they saying the jig is up. Obviously, they can do it whenever they want, whichever species, because all they got to do is just stop with what we have today and just park somewhere and get out the car. The spaceship. And they can get out the spaceship and typically and seriously just say what they mean and mean what they say, and it's a done deal. But obviously, this is the signal behind the scenes, and maybe conditioning is happening. I've always said it could be based upon the economics, because this new space economy is coming in, that our young people are going to be going to space to work, and therefore the possibility of them looking out the window and seeing extraterrestrial crafts and stuff is going to be intimate. It's going to happen. So therefore, why not get everybody ready? There's just so many moving parts to this. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos says industry need to move to space. Elon Musk said we need to get out to space and be an interplanetary species, because there's an extinction level event possibly could happen later on down, long while we were here, we'll be gone. So there's all these things that the challenge is where it is, and I can't tell you how we need to interpret those things, but all I do know, something is coming. Nick said, read my comment above about Coronado. Okay, so let me go check that out. In fact, let me put it on screen, Nick. All right, so there is a very strange topographical feature a few miles off the course of Coronado where the SEALs train. And a lot of people, the feature looks like a subsurface entry to an underground facility. So there is a very strange topographical feature a few miles off the coast of Coronado. Do we have pictures or anything like that, Nick? Or where could we Google that? But what are you saying that is? What is it? A lot of people think the features is a subsurface entry to an underground facility. Do you think it is? So most people think the underground facility is, Antarctica, or wherever they're going in Antarctica, Nick. So what do you think it is, or what do we think it could be? And I don't know if y'all remember that they had this. Remember they said they found in a cave recently, and there was inside the cave was a whole ecosystem. This was recently. I think it was like a month ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, that there was a whole ecosystem found in this cave. Y'all remember that? Nick said you can see it on Google Earth. There has been a ton of documented sightings there of Coronado. So y'all Google Earth that, Coronado. And you can be able to kind of see those things that he's talking about. So it's just so much though, right? Yeah, everyone, it's just so freaking much when it comes down to what we're doing. If you're new here, I'm going to welcome Why the Big Secret. We're at 46 likes, four people, 6 people, 5 people. If you hit the like button, we'll get over 50. Share this. It would be perfect. If you're new, definitely do that. The video I tagged was on Twitter, is what EQ said. But definitely, oh my God, $800 for what? What is $800? Girl from the Bay. I got $800. No, shit, you would hear me say, "Oh my God!" But anyway, if you have not, please subscribe to the channel. Yeah, there we go. Someone else just hit the like. It went up 1. Anyone else, please do that. I'm trying to get the word out. Here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 on Monday through Thursday, but on Fridays from 7 to 9, and we just going over tonight. Why the Big Secret? I'm a UFO investigator, TV show host, all in the field of this. The night vision cameras. Oh, $800. Shoes. Okay. David, you got my email. David, send me a link to that camera. To the night vision. I may put it on a wish list for Christmas or something. I've always wanted some. I was getting a new telescope too. But send me the link on that, please, David, on the emails. I will love to see that where it is. Okay. Please do. You got the email address, and actually you can send it to my cell phone. We talked. If you got it, text it to me. But anyway, it's this thing, I'm trying to make sure I build this thing. So I want experiencers, people who want to share their experiences, to come on here, and hopefully they don't mind and they're not camera shy, because I think it's time for people to really hear people that's in those government secrets and all of those things that people could do. We can do that as well, and everything else. So here's the deal. Before we come to the close, I got something. Thank you, David. I got something that is not UFO related, but it is a trip, a new study. Okay. I just want y'all to kind of go over this thing. A new study finds that most of us think we can get away with murder. I saw this and I was like, really? Murder? A new study said most adults feel that they could probably commit a crime and get away with it. This is a study. And they're saying that they also say that watching crime thrillers has a lot to do with it. I kind of got to admit, I'm always listening to HLN, the crime shows, and the guy be like, well, with that voice, and they talking about the crimes. And you be thinking, man, if I had to do this to somebody, but you hear all these people got caught, and then you go, oh, I wouldn't do it that way, because they got microcorroborable ways of looking at fingerprints and hair fibers. But it says that crime shows has become quite popular, with the average of almost 4 hours a week spent gripping and twisted turns to uncover the villains. And 2,000 fans of a detective shows found 25% of their viewers who watched the show think they could get away with committing their own crimes. What do y'all think about that? Isn't that nuts? And yeah, most adults don't feel that way. I know I don't, but they say out of 2,000 people that they do feel that way. I don't know about that. But it also says that 1 out of 5 think they would know who to befriend and to stay undetected if they broke the law. 22% said they know the ideal location to carry out the perfect crime. This is 2,000 people. Stay away from them folks. Researchers also found that 44% of the crime drama fans have contemplated how they may have carried out the crime differently. So does that mean if you meet a woman or a man for the first time and all they like to watch is those crime shows, do you still date this person because they're capable of disappearing you? That's something different. Data also showed that 2/3 of respondents switch on detective dramas because of the mystery, while 4 in every 10 enjoy the characters. 56% love watching crime shows because they like figuring out who done it. And 58% believes that they have an eye for detail, which would make them a great detective, and more of a third possessing skills of acute concentration. And lastly, 45% apply their logical thinking to uncover the truth, while 3 in 10 think they have the ability to consider different scenarios to crack the case. And lastly, 82% managed to solve the TV crime before the characters have even been revealed. All right. So I don't know. I know I'm not for to mess with somebody who watches those things all day and they looking at you chopping their chops, licking their chops. There is a Aura Sport on eBay with buy now. What is that, Link? What is a Synox or Aura Sports? And Nick says on eBay. So I can do that and I can Google that one real quick. And what would y'all talking about night vision, right? If you are talking about night vision, what would you do? What would you see with it right now anyway? All right. Oh, there's night vision. Nick, you said $400. This thing's $40. It says $40, 25 to $40. Yeah. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but it says Sierra Sport Black Pro Lens Shield. Oh, shield? Maybe it's a shield. $40. It's not the lens itself. Okay. I don't know. Be right back, somebody says. UFOs by my parents' house. Yeah, check that out. All right, everyone. So here's where we are. We at the time that what I want to do is thank y'all for being here tonight. If 3 more people like the button, we'll get over 50. Okay. We have 48, 3 more. Okay. But anyway, I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here on Freaky Fridays is what we call it here. Why the Big Secret. We were streaming from the UNX network, which is now over at 9 o'clock. So we did kind of go over and we just kind of talking from there. I just want to appreciate you supporting the show. If you're part of the Big Secret or are part of our secret community of what we're doing at Truth Seekers, which is, I think I put that up before earlier as well. If you got stories or knowing anyone, but again, if you want to be part of the Truth Seekers, there you go right there. It's up on the screen. But if you know anyone that have a story, they want to share it, or you want to share it. But again, I'm here Monday through Friday trying to create better content. Please don't wait or hesitate to send me ideas that you think we can create a better show. Because I'm definitely always interested. I know we're going to do more interviews, so that is on the agenda. I will do more interviews for you. MUFON cases, just in the news, all of that. Well done. We're over 50. You're right, KG. You watching it. You own it, man. I wasn't even paying attention. Appreciate. Look at that. Much love, because that is something that we could use. Share the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Okay, say Rod, after we live up to the plan on watching that video and let me know what you think. I sent it on Twitter by Luke. I will check that out. Elisa says, have you done anything on the Blue Beam project? No, not yet. I'm gonna make a note of that right now, though. I will look that up. Blue Beam project. So we'll definitely look on the Blue Beam project. We can definitely do that as well. So we would do that. I don't know if y'all heard our new theme song that I have written for the Truth Seekers. Maybe I can jam that for you on the way out a little bit in a minute. But this guy did a great job of making our theme song. And it's a short version. I'll let y'all hear a little bit in the backdrop while we're talking.
Let me
And
ask you a question.
this is how it goes
Why
a
the
little bit.
big secret? Truth seekers, but really the true
That's the theme
leaders. It's
song.
time to get the facts from the big secret keepers. UFOs passing by when I look up in the sky. We're out here asking why, but we don't get no reply. We want disclosure, we need the actual facts.
So that's the theme song I had made for the show. The guys did pretty good for that. So that's something I think we will continue to do from there. But anyway, we hit it. We got it. We over 50. If you want to be the one to take us to 51, you can do that. And I'm going to get ready to take us out in just a little bit out of the show. So in the meantime, I will do that right now from there. So here we go. All right, everyone, this is Roderick Martin. It was Friday, and I want to thank you for your time for being here on Why the Big Secret. And we're going to end the show tonight, the live stream. Now, I'll be back on Mondays for you, Monday through Thursday. That is 8 to 10 o'clock, and then 7 to 9 on Friday. But in the meantime, it's the UFO thing, y'all. It's out there. They're real. It's happening. Don't get your eyes shut when it comes down to this information. We got to really, truly get down deeper. And this is why the big secret. We're going to always go deeper here. We're going to go past the narrative. I'm going to show you what's happening out here in real time, and that's what's going to happen. In the meantime, though, I just want you to know we're here. I'm a UFO investigator, TV show host, surrounded by a lot of smart people. JJ, Nick, Dr. Steph, and the list goes on. KG, all of you people. And if I miss you, charge it to my head and not the heart, because I mean well for everybody. So if you like this channel, please share it, come back, watch the live stream. If you know anyone with experiences, make sure you pass it. But in the meantime, this is it. It's Friday night. Look for the UFOs. In order for you to do that, you got to look up, and then you will see them because they're there. Because people ask me, why come I don't see them? Well, who walks around looking up? If you look up, you will see the UFOs. And so I leave you with the message of the day. Your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. You got to think why, guys. You got to think why, because at the end of the day, this is how we roll. And it's going to be important that we do what we do. Okay? And so I want